black community which commits most of the fucking crimes. I think it's still disproportionate. I'm not saying it's not disproportionate, but I'm saying that I think the correlation is not that they suddenly have this culture because black people are black people, right? Kenyans are the highest performing ethnic group in American education. So we're not talking about just, it's black people culture, because black people culture is culture. People in poverty who are desperate, who are
Wouldn't you say it's a negative culture for society?
Huh?
Wouldn't you say it's a negative culture for society, the black culture, as is known in, say, Detroit and these other mostly slums?
Black culture. That's poverty. I don't know. I understand what you say. Black culture. Black culture is one thing. I'm talking about poverty. What you're talking about is not black culture. Black culture is African traditions. Black culture is black culture. You think that black people originate in America?
Sure.
They don't.
Sorry, I misspoke. I meant African American black culture.
But even then, the things you're talking about, violence, right, or gang culture, these are things that are related to poverty, to lack of access of opportunities, of this is literally a trend in every single country. The more people you put in desperate situations, the more people are likely to be violent, to be criminal, to steal, to rob, whatever it is.
Right. What do you think the solution to that is? I think the solution to that would not be to say give them advantages on the basis of their skin color, because then you'd be segregating them into a group and treating them differently, right?
I would tackle the root of the problem.
What is the root of the problem?
Well, the root of the problem is that not enough people have access to things like good education or even co-curricular activities. Like young people need to do sport or music or something in terms of opportunities, but also taking up their time, right?
Do you believe that public schools are underfunded?
The reason that people have kids is because they're bored. You need to give people shit to do.
Sure. Do you believe that public schools are underfunded?
What, in my country?
Well, are you from the UK?
Yeah, I'm from the UK.
Oh, because you had a Black Lives Matter tag, and so there's mostly like a United States movement, and
No, it was global. What?
Well, it technically was founded by Marxists in the US.
You had people in everywhere in the whole world, man. PLM.
Yeah, so I don't think you would understand a lot about the African American culture, I guess, in the US as much as
I do know African American culture in the US, and I also read.
Well, your main criticism was based on George Floyd incident on police brutality. You're saying that, and you didn't know who David Dorn is, so that tells me a lot about the type of information that you're exposed to, and it tells me that you're exposed to a lot of...
No, you did not hear the first part of the conversation, bro. The reason we were talking about the reason I brought up George Floyd was because I was mentioning, don't forget that the cause that they're talking about. He started going off about communists and liberals, and I was saying, but the Black Lives Matter was about this event. This is what started it. And everything that followed is really inflation by your media.
Right, you cited it as an example, though, to sort of imply that systemic racism was a thing, right? You sort of use an example. Well, you have cops killing that, murdering that guy.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, it's not something that happens frequently. This is over-reported by the media, and it's something that is trying to push an agenda. The media is using that as an example because it didn't report on David Dorn, the black police officer that was murdered in cold blood.
I'm not talking about
Black Lives Matter.
I'm not talking about individual. I wasn't talking about individual incidents. I have no specific affiliation with any ideology or behind it. The Black Lives Matter movement was what it was, right? Which was just about this guy getting killed in the street and protesting, asking for in general more attention to the problems that black people face. That's it.
The original movement was a Marxist movement, and it set up a side with donations, with rules, saying that abolish the nuclear family, this and that.
I know what you're talking about. I'm not talking about the co-owner being Marxist trained or whatever the fuck your stupid media goes on about in the US. Are Marxist. It doesn't fucking matter because the owners that you're talking about are not people who organized every single protest. It's not like the entire fucking movement was just had a headquarters, had a business behind it. This is so dumb. You're talking about what started off as a t-shirt company blowing up and then being the main representative of this issue.
What would be the goals of going out in the streets and shouting Black Lives Matter? What would be the issue that? What would it be tackling exactly? Let's stop being racist. Is that it? Stop being racist.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hashtag, but yes, it's bringing attention to racial issues in the US, which you guys have plenty of.
you think it's sufficient to shout at KKK members, stop being racist? Do you think that's sufficiently getting them to stop being racist, especially when you have a huge portion of your group rioting and breaking down businesses?
Thousands of years, protesting has been a massive part of political change and movement. I don't know, what are you undermining the idea of millions of people going into your streets and demand?
I think they need like more specific ideas, you know, like specific change. They're too general.
Yeah.
I think there were demands. I think
there was misinformation, like hands up, don't shoot, which was based on an incident where the guy was literally breaking the law, and then he said, and the police officer said hands up, and then he said don't shoot while pulling out his illegal firearm, and then people just CNN, and SBC put that out of context, and then they started chanting hands up, don't shoot. They literally do not care about information. They just want to shout based on their emotions. They don't have any demands. They don't know what they're protesting for. That's most of the protesters.
Wait, one second. I think you're a little bit stuck. You're a little bit stuck on the idea of like, this is like a game and you're scoring points, and this individual news reporter said that you care too much about every single fucking story in the media. I'm talking ideologically. Think about what this movement is about. Think about the meaning of protesting, right?
Think about
the concept of protesting is not something bad. You're talking about rioting. You need to look at.
Can you elaborate on that?
Huh?
He's not saying
it's a fucking.
Bad. You're strawmanning him.
I'm not strawmanning him. He was putting down the idea of protesting.
No, he wasn't. EXO, did you put down the idea of protesting? Are you against the idea of protesting?
No, I'm not.
Exactly. He
never I believe it actually serves a useful purpose when the goal is clear. But if you're just spouting stuff in the streets in mass, and a large portion of your group is breaking businesses,
isn't that the purpose of protesting?
Literally. When you walk through the streets like shouting for a cause, I assume you mean protesting. And when you were saying, "Oh, do you think that that's a good idea?" It sounded like you were insinuating it wasn't.
I think you have to have a goal. What are you protesting for exactly? Are you protesting for
the general demands about police reform? I don't know about America.
Demands to stop being racist. I don't think that's a really efficient.
I think there were demands about changing the way that police officers are sentenced and things like. Or just in general, looking at like the criminal justice system, which seems to be pretty fucked in America still, like today.
You believe that's a consistent demand among the group?
That's not things they're like yelling in the street.
But I can't recite to you the demands. There were demands though. They were on the website. There were demands like.
And now you're going back to the official movement because the demands were Marxist demands. Abolish the nuclear structure. I can still see if I can look it up on the way back. I remember I did it a while ago, but they were Marxist demands.
They weren't Marxist. They weren't Marxist.
How old are you, bro? What are you talking about?
They weren't Marxist, really.
He's right. Those things existed, but they took them down. What they were really asking for is defund the police, which actually happened. Yeah. Which was stupid.
They weren't Marxist demands.
Okay, yeah, I don't know, but I'm not 100% sure about the demands in the US, but I know that there was
officers now.
Yeah, Venezuela. Venezuela is giving you oil right now, so shut the fuck up, dude.
What?
How dare you? Venezuela is giving you oil now. Venezuela is selling you oil, so shut the fuck up, dude.
Who are you telling to shut the fuck up?
Dude, XO, he sent me a picture in the DM.
Okay, thank you.
With the Venezuela leader, with the BLM, whatever, militant.
Let's go, BRICS.
Let's go, BRICS. The Venezuelan leader is selling oil to the United States right now, so he better shut the fuck up.
Is that true?
I feel like Americans, I feel like in America, you guys focus so much on like, oh, but he said this did that, like, and you sort of forget the sort of general meaning of what's happening in the world. You know what I mean? Like you're very like American centralized. There were literally hundreds of millions of people who protested around the world.
Yeah, even in France, and even in Britain, and even
France,
in Belgium,
in England, in Italy, in Belgium, in fucking, I mean, God knows how many fucking African countries.
It's like this
Asia
how
as well, Hong Kong, Singapore, fucking, bro, the whole world was protesting about the same fucking thing.
But what happened?
And then you're telling me, oh yeah, but you didn't hear about this one story, so you're like brainwashed by the media. It sounds like you're brainwashed by the media, bro.
Yeah.
No, but I think really what matters is the efficacy of these protests, right?
Sure, that's debatable. That's what I was saying. I don't support rioting because I don't think it really helps the cause.
Well, how did the protesting help? What actually changed because of that?
I don't know. I feel like a lot more people are sensitive when talking about these issues, and I think that's quite a good thing. A general amount of racial sensitivity, I think, at least with people my age. You know what I mean?
Well, not much, I think.
Not much, but at least in England, it's like that. But we're very liberal. You know what I mean?
Well, it brings down the idea that we can discuss the historical figures in our history and tear them down, and if they had like racist history.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's about talking about how we're still dealing with issues like the consequences of like a pretty shitty past. I think that's at some point you have to address that properly. Like,
exactly.
Okay.
You had civil rights, and then for the next 60 years, we all know that it was not fucking equal.
Okay, Luke.
And then now you've still got the consequence. We're equal. I'd say we're equal in every single law and every single, almost every single thing. But I think that when you're talking about the consequences of what 300 years of oppression does to a group of people, it's pretty relevant.
Okay, Luke. So I'm a conservative. So let's say I agree that there's disparities because of history. What's your solution?
Yeah, what's your
I mean, you'd have to sort of break it down and look at the root causes of your problems. I'd say if the causes of your problems are things like lack of opportunity or education, then those are things that maybe you want to target.
Solution, what do you mean, like worldwide or the United States?
I'm talking about the United States, but yeah, like I don't know, like just name a policy that you'd support.
I don't know. I'd support public funding for like things like playgrounds or sports fields for schools, or like underprivileged schools.
Well,
I think that's already being done. Like, okay.
No, it's not being done.
I don't think I don't think that public housing in America. Sorry, I'll let you talk. But I don't think that public housing in America is at all on the not public housing. Sorry, but what's it called?
You said playgrounds.
Yeah, I meant
okay, well, I mean
public facilities or anything. I don't think the quality of like publicly provided goods is going up in America.
Okay, I mean you can talk about that, but that's a municipal issue, really. So like it's hard to generalize or say that some places are better funded, some places are not funded. I mean, are there any specific places you think are not well funded?
Yeah, I mean that's your system though, because it's based on taxation. Your public school foundation is based on taxations. Like it's based on district taxation. If some school is in a good district with a better tax rate than another one, they will get more funding than any other school. So it's a whole system, the American system.
No, I know
you can deny that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like there's this Vox video that talks about that, but like most states have some sort of redistribution where they allocate some money from richer neighborhoods to poor neighborhoods to try to even that out. Plus, we also have some federal funding to again even that out a little bit. So it's not a huge problem like the left keeps pretending
it is. No, it is a huge problem because it does. Like if you're coming from a bad background, you won't have the same chance in the same area as someone else because they had better funding in their schools than in any other school. So you can start with that. But when we were doing the Black Lives Matters movement, they had some really retarded claims where they're saying defend the police. But the police are not the problem. It's the real estate market who is the problem, because the police at the end, they are only guardians or like security guys for the real estate market. If they're like ordered to to go in certain areas, is mostly because of the real estate market who needs them to be in certain areas, which is like the black neighborhoods or whatever, because they need to invest in that shit or whatever. So it's mostly a material problem, and you need to fix that.
Well, I probably agree with you, but I probably have completely different solutions.
What kind of
I just want to say I'm gonna dip, but when we were talking earlier, I think we were talking about it was more on an ideological basis. In general, we should be focusing on these sort of issues.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Luke, see ya.
Peace.
Okay. What will be your solution?
All right. Yeah, sure. So let me contrast. I think you think that the government should probably provide cheap housing or free housing to people. I think we need a market-based solution to increase the supply of housing, so prices come down. So that would help fix things like homelessness. I forgot the word I was saying, but yeah, I would just advocate for a market-based solution, which is probably the
okay. Okay, hold on. If you increase the supply of housing, won't be that an opportunity for big market corporate to buy all these supplies and just provide these supplies and
increase
the price, increase the price of that thing and make profit out of that.
No, this is ridiculous. Like you're talking about.
That's the rule of the market, though.
No, it's not. Let me speak.
The rule of the market.
Real estate market is worth trillions of dollars. You're telling me that a company can buy up $trillions of real estate?
Yep.
No, it's not. Oh, you're completely wrong.
They can do that. They're actually doing that right now, and they're just like.
You're wrong. You're completely wrong. You're talking about BlackRock. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about BlackRock. BlackRock owns.
Yeah, BlackRock is doing that.
What percentage of the real estate market do you think BlackRock owns right now?
I don't know, but that's their project.
Okay, well, they have an irrelevant percentage of the real estate market.
Okay. If you say so, do you have any source on that?
All right, let's look it up.
Because I know BlackRock is doing that. Yeah. They literally trying to boycott people from buying their houses and making it all rental, like they make a landlord.
Rightly, you were saying shut up because I sent you a picture of fucking what's her name, Black Lives Matter founder Opal Tometi. What do you mean by that? Like, why do you think Venezuela is not a bad country? Just because you want to support it?
No. Venezuela is right now selling you oil, so shut the fuck up, dude.
First of all, not from the United States. Second of all, why does that matter?
Venezuela is selling you oil right now, in this moment. Selling oil, saving your ass because the oil market is going so high, and Venezuela is selling you oil.
That's a good thing, right?
Ripley, I got the numbers.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So
doesn't that benefit its people? And also,
don't attack Venezuela.
It's a small portion of oil to the United States.
Well, small portion, but now there's actually they were
sort of a derail. Why would that delegitimize the fact that Opal Tometi literally supports Venezuela and like goes next to him and hugs him and shows the communist fist as well?
Well, the communist fist is saving your eyes right now. Apparently, the Venezuela is selling you oil. So you are literally begging Venezuela to sell you oil.
And I don't drive, so
you were
referring to me.
You were literally
Ripley.
begging for Venezuela to sell you oil. So shut up, please.
Okay, Ripley, I got the numbers you requested.
Yeah.
Okay, the U.S. real estate market is worth $36 trillion. BlackRock's real estate portfolio, $325 billion. Do you understand the proportions here? Like, they own nothing. It's not even a drop in the bucket. That's number one. Number two, they're buying them to provide ETFs. I own an ETF from BlackRock that is exposure to a real estate market. That's just selling pieces of houses to private investors like me. That's it. That's all they're doing. So, anyways, yeah. So as you can see, it's not even like 1%.
Okay. Don't you see a problem in there? The amount of power they can have, like if they're selling houses everywhere and they want people to just be renting, and they will be like the giant landlords in the United States. It's really fucked up, dude. It's they're literally fucking the American dream for anyone to buy a house and
Ripley, let me say that again. No, you're wrong. Let me say it again. Real estate market, 36 trillion with a T, trillion. BlackRock's real estate portfolio, 325 billion. These are not even comparable in scale. Like
1%.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
They have total equity of 37 billions. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so no single company can ever come close to owning large portions of the real estate market. That's like that. The real estate market is worth like, what is it? 10 times the U.S. budget. No company even has that kind of money.
Yeah, but still, your solution is just like you want to allow the market to regulate the situation, but you can't do that because the market will choose the profit options, which is like buying the whole fucking offer and make profit out of it.
Okay, right now housing is expensive. That creates an incentive to create a lot of housing. We should just let the free market go. Let them build. But the problem is we have a lot of zoning restrictions that prevents that from happening. Like in California, like in LA. You should have zoning restrictions that make it that they can only build single family housing, which I think you would agree that's not a good thing. That causes urban sprawl, lower density, yada yada yada. A lot of bad things happen because of that. Like traffic.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we should just let the free market solve this.
Yeah, but how about the house district thing? How about the the district funding of schools? Isn't that solution as well? Like to regulate that shit?
Yeah, states are already attacking this. Like they're redistributing from richer areas to poorer areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that throwing money at public schools won't necessarily make them better.
True.
Why do you think that?
As the schools, then there's more incentive for there to be better, right? Because then the teachers basically have an incentive to perform in a better way, to test the children better, and to promote curiosity. But when it comes to public schools, when there's no competition, it's just governmentally funded, then the money doesn't necessarily go to the places it needs to in order to improve the quality of the education.
Get sucked up in the administration.
The whole point of it is...
You're just making biography, which is like also a downside of capitalism.
The whole point is if it's higher paid, then it's going to be more competitive. So you have teachers with higher credentials applying for these jobs. You don't have the lowest of the low applying for these jobs.
So you want black kids to be in private schools?
I personally believe that private schools could be subsidized. I'm not saying necessarily should, but I would say it's a better alternative than the government forcing people to pay up for public schools and the money just goes down the drain.
Okay, so far I agree with you. But do you agree that black kids couldn't afford private schools? So you must raise the minimum wage then.
Why do you assume that? Why do you think that people are uneducated?
Anyway, just like promoting for a better public schools because everyone can afford the private school.
No, rightly. What conservatives support is school vouchers. We want to give everyone a voucher so parents can choose which school they can send their children to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you agree with that solution?
Yeah, school voucher, yeah. It's not depending on your economical background, yeah. Right. If it's not depending on your economical background, of course, I'm into that.
Okay.
I mean, like, why... Like, if you want to have a private school and you want to do your little thing, like, go ahead, dude. Like, that's fine. All I want is for the public schools to be caught up enough that everybody who goes there gets the minimal education that they need to go and get a higher level of education.
Of course. And that's how you can fight all this, like, stereotypical Black Lives Matter and all of that shit.
Oh, by the way, Benzina is insane, so she's probably going to start screaming any second now. Probably recommend to mute her.
I don't know him. That's very...
Can I ask, when you say specifically, like, you want the level of education to be enough so people can reach higher levels of education, would you also agree to just also have a goal of that people can function in society after high school, kind of? Well,
yeah, I mean, one of like a couple of the classes in high school should be things that prepare you for college, and also things that prepare you for life if you choose not to go to college. Like doing your fucking taxes would be one. Another one would be like going to the DMV. Like little things like that go a long way, and like they like reduce stress for like young Americans. Like you're 18 years old, you get thrust into the world. Now all all of a sudden you have to do all these things. Like if you know more about them, then like would that not bring your stress level down?
Hard out, like especially going through some of their systems can be quite stressful if you don't know anything, and like how do you apply for insurance or how do you make a bank account?
Yeah, exactly.
Benzina, are you that person using a voice changer pretending to be a girl? So remember, I had a conversation with you when you were
about me. I didn't even say shit. Y'all always want to talk about me.
That kind of voice changer. Like, that is a real person.
Weird. You is so weird. Why are you trying to make everything about me? Like, let people talk about something else. Thank you.
I was just wanting to know because I don't know. Never mind.
They don't make a voice changer for that.
Like the fuck? I'm not a celebrity. Let's relax.
No, because the guy mentioned you might be a troll, so I thought that you might. I don't know.
Be a troll.
She's a troll. She's just a discount Lizzo.
Weren't you trolling bro? Were you trolling to paint your skin black and shit like that? You a weirdo? Like, let's not talk about trolling.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking. Who else, bitch? Who else? Not talking about nobody.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's a troll.
Like you literally pretended to be transracial. That's kind of weird. And you want to talk about me? I'm not even trolling.
I mean, you're like kind of pretending to be transracial, like you're wearing horsehair on your head, like you actually have.
Are you dumb? Are you really dumb? Did you just say that?
And whose hair is that? That's on your head.
So you think hair is transracial?
Yeah, you're pretending. Yeah, you're pretending to be Eastern European with that fucking hair you have attached to your skull.
Wait,
fucking way, bro. Wait.
Buckwin, what about when people go to court in like British times and they wear like the big wigs?
Look at the fucking meaning of transracial.
Dumb as fuck too.
No, you're dumb. I know what transracial means. You don't.
Hey, that term doesn't exist. Is what I'm getting at. That term doesn't fucking exist.
See, we're having a good conversation, then Benzina just starts yelling. Completely derailed the conversation.
What do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, you're talking about pretend shit. That doesn't exist, dude.
Yes, so pretend.
No, it doesn't.
What it is, that's what it is, though.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I think too. And that's the thing. But I'm curious, Rationalism, what you think.
Mm-hmm.
How do you disagree with Chef Killa? How do you start that disagreement with his view of government? Like, how do you make the argument that yours is better?
I don't think mine's is better. I'm not sanctimonious. I think that government should be inbound to enforce and create rules, and the proper resources would be individualistically earned, and forces pretty much just govern what is applicable with those resources. That's simple, I think.
To what extent?
Just that I don't have all these fucking hypotheticals and scenarios. I just thought that at the back of my head.
To what extent, though? Like, how large should the government be? Should we have multiple governments within one nation? Like, for example,
I think one government would be good.
States and the federal government? Or should we have multiple governments?
I like state governments.
I think one government would be good.
What do you think about that, Chief?
I think we should have multiple governments, especially the larger the country gets, the more governments there should be. We should have state.
So you like states' rights, like the fact that they can
of course,
choose. Oh, interesting.
But I still think.
What do you think about Roe v. Wade? I'm curious. We don't have to go into a big thing about that. Do you agree with that decision? Because that's what it did. It gave it to the states.
I believe at the end of the day, the role of government is to protect its people.
Okay.
To maintain social order, to keep its people fed, healthy. And so when it comes to Roe v. Wade, this is just an obvious given. It should be codified into the federal law.
Okay, so you think it should be codified. So you don't think, so some things you want to be a state level, but other things you want to be a federal level.
I mean, when it comes to those fundamentals, it should be all over, no matter what government it is. You know,
what do you think about guns? Guns should be federal as well, do you think? Because I heard you were having, like, you want to restrict some access to guns in some ways. You want to add additional laws. So, like, do you think that should be a federal gun laws, or do you still think, like, states should be able to have laws like they do now? I'm just curious where you draw your line. I'm not going to further question you.
Guns, I think states need to take a look at its population. Because when it comes to guns, there's so many guns, and there's so many people. Abortion is really, in all actuality, a very small issue. Not every woman is out there getting an abortion, okay? So, and it has to do with health, and I believe the federal government should deal with health. When it comes to guns, you know, it needs to be state by state. Each state should individually make their own laws, depending on their crime levels. You know, obviously Chicago and Illinois won't have the same gun laws as, say, Wyoming, because most people who live in Wyoming hunt, and that's their main source of food in some cases. I think that states should decide how mentally well their population is and how they should enforce the gun laws, which is why I support the abolition of the Second Amendment. I think, in reality, that's the biggest thing that should go to the states, and as opposed to Roe v. Wade, as opposed to abortion, we should give gun rights to the states. We should make the states decide, because states have their hands tied when it comes to gun laws, because they have to, follow this rule that was written in 1776 at a different time. We don't live in those times anymore. The founding fathers couldn't have imagined school shootings and the Bloods and the Crips, and what was going to happen in Chicago and what happens, in Los Angeles, Detroit. They couldn't even fathom those things, right? So guns, in reality, should go to the states more so than abortion.
Yeah. I mean, the funniest thing is, federally, those are the opposite things in that way. Like, abortion isn't a constitutional thing, so that's why it's a state's option, whereas guns would be a constitutional thing. That's why it's somewhat not a state's option. But also, if you look at certain states, it's nearly impossible in certain states, certain counties in those states to get a gun, depending on who you are, like, depending on your level of wealth. So, like, I don't 100% agree with their hands are tied behind their back. Like, if you look in New York City and try and get a gun, good luck. I don't think New York City's hands are tied behind their back. And, you know, they have the right. I mean, it's been a little harder now. I think there was some thing passed recently that's going to make it a little bit tougher for them. But I still think in New York City currently, it's still pretty difficult to get a gun to carry in New York City. And also California, there's like the rifle I currently have, I couldn't carry in California, these type of things.
And really, I'm not too obsessed with guns. Really, honestly, I'm not too bent on people having guns, really. My main thing really is mental health.
Would you ever own a gun? I'm curious. That's a personal question I have.
I own guns.
Yeah. So you don't have any like personal issue with guns?
No. I have an issue with crazy people having guns.
So you fired firearms? You've used firearms before?
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with guns. I'm saying as it stands right now, there's too many fucking crazy people out there. And until we do something about the crazy people, we got to do something about guns. I mean, it's just come at some point. At some point, you have to stop the violence. And if we're not willing to, you know, deal with the crazy people, then we have to deal with what we have the power to do as far as laws go. Obviously, if you were to create mental health laws in this country today, I don't know. It's a tough situation. Like I said, there's no real one answer. But my main thing is too many crazy people get their hands on guns and they do terrible things. Granted, crazy people are always going to do terrible things. But guns make it way too easy. To be able to go into a mall and wipe out an entire food court is a lot different from walking to a mall with a knife and, you know, taking one person out. At least people have the ability to fight back. Guns, you can't fight back.
That's an interesting one to bring up, the food court. Did you see the recent one in the food court, the recent mass shooting, the tragedy, 3 people were killed?
Do you own any guns yourself?
I do. Yes.
That's nice.
Do you?
No, I don't.
No. Would you ever own a gun? Okay.
I would, yeah.
Have you ever fired a firearm?
Mm-hmm.
You have used a firearm before?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. No, yeah, I enjoy guns for recreational. I enjoy fire them just for fun too, and I think guns I enjoy for self-protection as well. I concealed carry a firearm as well.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
why is Chief Gilla saying you can't defend yourself? Like we just saw that a Good Samaritan stopped a mass shooter.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. And sadly, 3 people died, and I think the guy died, the mass shooter dude. But it was stopped by a civilian who was concealed carrying a gun, who was able to stop this dude and before he could slaughter more people.
Yeah.
And I think some of the laws you would be in favor of, I would argue, may have stopped this dude from being able to get a gun or stop other law-abiding citizens. And like you said, you're okay with some law-abiding citizens not being able to have guns if it even stops one school shooter or something like that. And that's where we just disagree there.
My main point is if the government's not going to do anything on mental health, they need to do something on guns.
Yeah, and my thing is I don't think the government can do anything on guns, so I think we need to have guns in order to protect ourselves against other guns. That'd be my argument.
Well,
I think the best.
Maybe like I can ask you more pointed questions. Like, what could we do? Because most of these school shooters, they were not diagnosed as mentally ill when they committed.
That's the issue I was getting at earlier.
I'll tell you exactly what we do. I mean, we used to have in this country asylums. We used to lock crazy people up. Now, I was talking to Avocado not too long ago, and I just said, you know, if your kid's crazy, you can take you can have a 2-second conversation with your kid and know that nigga is crazy, right? So it's not too hard to open asylums because listen, I have a crazy cousin, right? This kid has gone to the emergency insane asylum 6 times in the last 10 years, right? He wants to kill himself. He's suicidal. He listens to heavy metal and shit. He's weird.
Okay.
It's like the parents are just like the parents are. He's unique. He's artistic. He's, you know what I mean? It's you know your kid's fucking crazy. So we need to have laws in place to where we can send those people to a place where they can get help long term. Because when he was going to kill himself the first time, they locked him up in a psych ward for 3 days and let his ass back out. This man can still get a gun. He can still go to the store right now and get a gun. Thank God.
That's not true. That's not true. If you've ever been hospitalized for mental illness within like 10, 20 years or something. I can't remember. I haven't bought a gun legally, like with the paperwork for a while. But in that sense, you can't purchase a gun legally. I guess you could lie on your FFL, which is a federal offense. Anybody could do that, but if you mark incorrectly on that FFL dealership, if you buy a gun like that, which in most states that's how you have to do it, you have to go through a licensed dealer in that way. Like, these people can't own a gun if you've ever been hospitalized for a mental illness.
It doesn't matter. These people, man, they're crazy, but they're also smart. They get through this. In the state of Kansas,
that's the thing. How do you stop people though who haven't been hospitalized for mental illness?
Well, I'll tell you how. We put them away. We did this for years. We put them away. We lock them up in an asylum. I'm not saying lobotomize them, treat them like shit.
No, I know. Obviously, that's the problem with asylums. That's why the asylums got closed, because they were shitty.
Hold on. I'm saying build like first-class facilities,
sure.
Right?
No, I agree.
Where people have a courtyard, all the amenities, whatever. Like, they can live a happy life, but they also get the help that they need. If you go out into any major city, right? Like, if I go to Kansas City, and it's not a large city, right? Like 500,000 people. You see all these fucking crazies wandering around. I couldn't imagine New York City or Miami or Los Angeles. You see these people just wandering around. These people are mentally ill. We have a mental illness problem in this country. And until we get real and address this shit, and until parents stop acting like their kids who are clearly fucked up in the head are like the second coming of Jesus and actually say to themselves, my child is crazy, let's do something about it.
No, sure, I agree with you.
Mass shootings, because in reality, all a mass shooting is just a public suicide. In reality.
I guess the problem is, like, a lot of these mass shooters come from broken families. They're neglected by their own parents. So, like,
that's the issue.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then like these parents are not going to be sending their kids to asylum. They don't even give a fuck in the first place.
And we can't minority report them and punish them before we have any evidence of anything wrong they've done.
So then what do we do? I'll tell you what we do. We get the schools involved. What happened?
I agree. I think we should have better defended schools. Sadly, as sad as that is to say.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we get the schools involved. What's going on with the kids at the schools? People need to start talking to each other about these kids, bro.
We can agree with that for sure. They're going to be more. I don't think anybody's going to disagree. Like, we can help kids out more emotionally and mentally, maybe in school. Obviously, there's funding issues and stuff like that that are going to be bigger. But obviously, I think that's a big deal. But I don't think that's 100% solution. Like, I think if your family life is shit, it's not like talking to some school psychologist is necessarily always going to solve it. Not saying it's not going to help for a lot of people.
Bro? I mean, when you're at school, you know what I'm talking about. The kid who wore all black in the summer.
That kid was already going to the school psychologist in my school, and guess what? He would go in there, sit in there, be quiet, answer yes, no, and then walk out. He wasn't engaging with that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink.
And then the school psychologist should be able to get on the phone with local law enforcement and say, I don't think this kid is right.
And I agree. And I think there needs to be more. We need to watch more. I agree with that.
Come check this kid out. I'm saying give him the due process. I'm not saying lock him up. I'm not saying nothing like that. You can't lock someone up wrong. But I'm saying the school psychologist knows that kid ain't right. Call the police. Say, hey, red flag. Something's wrong with this kid. The police should go check out this kid's house, see where he's living, see how his parents are, talk to the parents. I mean, nobody talks, bro.
No, I agree with that. I think that is a big problem. I think people turn a blind eye to a lot of big issues, and they don't before it's too late. Like I said, even with the parents, I think a lot of parents just don't want to believe the fact that their son's crazy, and they'll convince themselves of that fact, as much as they could. I mean, I can't imagine if my kid came to me and had some crazy thoughts or something like that. I'd want to do everything not to believe it too. But obviously, that's delusional thoughts, and I don't excuse that behavior. But I see how it happens.
I want to push back against that. So, we got to do like a cost-benefit analysis here. So we're talking about potentially nationwide having mental health professionals in every school just examining every kid. Like, that's going to cost so much money. And again, not to sound insensitive, but it will sound insensitive, but school shootings are not that big of an issue. So in the sense that you're it gets a lot of media attention, but just the number of them that happen, it's so few every year.
It is a little overinflated.
All right, we could say that. Right? Okay, so listen. First of all, school shootings you're right. They're not as often as the media makes it seem. But school shootings at its core is a form of psychological warfare, right? It agitates. It's a form of terrorism, really. And so people are scared to do things, which means people become maladapted to their civilization. I mean, we have so many social issues in this country, just based on the simple fact that we have too much fucking violence in this country. Violence.
Yeah, I don't know if violence is the cause as much as like a, after effect.
Exactly. And so people just need to start talking, man. It's common sense. It's got nothing to do with money. Give out whatever money. It doesn't cost any money. You know what I mean? They already got the school psychologists. What I'm saying is just look out for one another, man. We all live here together. We got to make this bitch, at least somewhat livable. I can't be afraid to send my kids off to school the same way I wouldn't want you to be afraid to send your kids off to school. Yeah. We just got to start looking at it, bro. Well, there needs people to have too many conceptual arguments and financial arguments about shit that is so common sense. If you see a kid that ain't right, say something. That's it. See something, say something.
Well, here's why I agree with you, because the profile of these kids who end up being mass shooters is not that they're bullied, it's that they're being ignored. So those are the worst people. It's not the kids being bullied that just lash out. It's literally the people that no one cares about. And this is like their way of expressing, like, hey, I exist. I'm a person. I'm just going to shoot people. Like, now you have to pay attention. Yeah. So I agree. We got to start talking to people, just the people that we ignore,
It's sick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, it's a form of public suicide, but it's also a form of, like you said, psychological warfare. I'm here, and I'm gonna make my mark, and I'm gonna fucking kill myself, and you're gonna be more scared, than you've ever. If I can't make you pay attention to me with love, I'm gonna make you pay attention to me with fear.
Yeah.
But that fear doesn't leave once the crazy person shoots himself after shooting 50 children in a classroom. That fear stays with us. That anger stays with us, and it makes us a worse country for it. We've become a more violent country. We've become a more quiet country. We've become a more hateful country. We can't do shit like this, man. And it's so simple. I'm not just talking about school shootings either. I got a shout out. The inner cities. Inner cities are a huge problem too. Kansas City, where I'm from, man, is a violent fucking city. There's only 400,000 people there, and we've had hundreds of murders.
Honestly, that's where the real number issue is. If we're going to look on a numbers issue, it's going to be the inner city. I think that's 80% of the homicide rate exists in inner city.
And it's the same exact problem as the school shooters. Nobody talks. I ain't going to snitch on that nigga. I ain't going to say a thing. Cops I ain't going to talk to the motherfucker.
That's the thing. I don't know if these things are as one solution. I agree with these are part of the problem, but I don't think these are the sole solution. I think these are multifaceted, obviously very complicated issues to solve. But I agree with you that this is a big part of the issue that people not talking. I do agree with that 100%.
I'm telling you, if people started talking and caring about each other, a lot of the issues, it wouldn't completely go away. But I mean, we'd be in a lot better place, and then we can talk about the conceptual things. We can talk about laws. We can talk about finances, But sure. we gotta come together and say this is an emergency. We're not gonna stand for it anymore. Everybody wants to point out the good person with the gun, but nobody wants to point out the good person who talks to the quiet kid in class. The good person with the gun wouldn't have to exist if people just started talking to the kids who were obviously going through a rough time in school.
Yeah, I think both are important for sure.
So it's I don't know. But this is something that's been going on for hundreds of thousands of years, right? Crazy people have always been around. It's just now that we have guns, they can wipe out an entire fucking...
What do you consider crazy?
What do I consider crazy?
Yes.
That's a loaded-ass question. But I guess he said crazy.
You know what crazy is, man. Come on.
No, I don't.
Everybody knows.
What do you mean by it? What do you mean by it? Or do you just mean off in the head? Is that what you meant when you said it?
Me?
Yeah, I'm curious. You don't need to define it with the dictionary. I'm just curious how you meant it when you just said because you said crazy. What do you mean?
When I say crazy teenage man, what do you see in your head?
That's
teenage man.
Tell me the type of person you see in your head when I say crazy teenage boy.
See, I think that's I don't think there's any I don't think there's any necessarily physical characteristics of a crazy person.
What do you see? What do you see his hobbies being? What does he do? What does he do with his time? What does he care about? What does he wear? What does he listen to?
You're just stereotyping. That's not crazy.
That's the thing. I think crazy is too vague.
Come on, though.
I can see that. I get what you mean, though. I think he's being a bit...
Would you consider BPD crazy?
Yeah. I would consider.
Well,
He considered anybody who's ever taken a Xanax. Right? If you've ever taken a Xanax, he thinks you're crazy. I think. Would you agree with that, Chief Killer?
No normal person has to take medicine.
Okay, so non-normal equals crazy, right? To an extent.
If you have an abnormality of the mind,
that's crazy. Okay.
Medication.
Would you consider ADHD crazy or ADD? Attention deficient.
You're off. You're off. I don't know what else you want me to say. You're off.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying by it. I think it's a wide definition, but I think.
I mean, there's levels to it. I'm not saying someone he has ADD, so he's gonna, go fucking shoot down the school. I'm saying like. There's levels to it, and you know the levels. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There's no reason for me to explain it because we've all seen it in our day-to-day lives. I mean, you know that the person with ADD, is completely different from the person with autism. The person from autism is completely different.
Not really. They're linked with hyperactivity, attention deficient, and low emotional social reciprocity. So you're wrong on that at least.
It's completely different.
What I'm saying
I'm practical, definitional.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Levels, of course, there's levels of everything.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm saying is there's a type of crazy where it's like a 30-year-old man in a 2-type Pokemon shirt playing video games all day. And there's also like a little kid who can't sit the fuck down. And there's also some fucking 18-year-old who wears black in the summertime, who likes guns, listens to heavy metal, and wants to shoot his fucking school, right? So there's levels.
And none of those people should be able to own guns, right?
I mean, I don't really think the 30-year-old in the Pokemon shirt would even care to own a gun, honestly.
That wasn't the point. I'm just curious, should he be able to?
The people, what I guess I'm specifying is people I really care about are the violently insane. The violently insane.
No, there are crazy people by your definition who want a gun to protect themselves. Like me, I've taken a Xanax before. Not prescribed it necessarily, but.
If you're not of the mind, you can own a gun.
Yeah, I mean, am I the only one who understood what Chief Killer was saying? He was talking about people who are violent. Like crazy and violent. That's what he meant. He didn't mean like ADHD or autism or Tourette's.
No, that's not what he said though. He said someone who's ever taken a Xanax shouldn't be able to own a gun.
Oh, okay. Well, I disagree with that, but I don't think.
Unless I'm mischaracterizing him.
Yeah, so why would you need a Xanax? Why would you need a Xanax? What about life is so fucking terrible to the point?
Panic attacks, anxiety attacks. What?
Okay, so why do you have those?
Because I experience anxiety. That's not being crazy.
Anxiety too. I don't think.
Right. Okay, that's your choice though. I can't control it.
I can control it too.
Good for you. We're different.
Everybody can control their anxiety.
No. Not everyone.
So you don't think medication is needed in any way? Like, are you a naturalist?
I'm of the opinion that a lot of these medications, first of all, are bullshit. Yeah, if you want to go there, I'll go there.
Sure, they can be overprescribed. I'm not going to agree with some of these. Like,
and they fuck with you. They fuck with you.
Pharma.
They fuck with you more than they help you. First of all.
But you're saying, like, would you say any medication is positive?
I mean, if you absolutely need that shit, hell yeah, take that shit. But I'm saying a lot of people don't even try to make positive changes in their spaces before they just go straight to the medication.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, we can say that's bad too, but I think that's kind of a side point.
A little fat kid, low self-esteem. The parents don't tell them to work out, build self-esteem. They just throw them on some fucking whatever pills to.
What about people who use Xanax recreationally, like
Lil Xan.
I mean, shit, Xanax is fun. I've done it recreationally. I mean,
fuck,
it's
you're
cool.
Crazy then. You're crazy.
What?
I ain't never been prescribed that shit. I mean, it's cool. It's a drug. You know what I'm saying? And it affects people in worse. Like, if you actually need that shit, if you really truly need that shit, I'm telling you, it doesn't affect you in a better way. It affects you a lot worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but just because you might need that doesn't mean necessarily you're prone to violence.
Xanax. You're crazy. You're gonna kill us all.
I was never prescribed Xanax though. I was given.
It's even worse.
It's even worse.
Yes, that's even worse.
How is that even worse?
Do you have any brain cells?
I have a lot of brain cells. I've been sitting here having this full-ass conversation with you this whole time, haven't I?
You're either high or you're really retarded.
No, we don't need to be condescending. I mean, I think Chief Killer was
I don't
pretty...
care.
Okay.
No, I'm saying, like, he can say what he wants. I ain't
you
mad.
just make 0 sense. You're being a hypocrite.
No, it's cool, man. You can say what you want. I mean, at the end of the day, you're just a little mad that I'm right.
What?
If I'm getting to the point where you're making insults, that means I'm right. So, I'll let you work that out. But I don't know. It's a complicated issue, yo. Very complicated.
Yeah, I guess like they were pretty offended when you categorize like crazy or not crazy. Like, I don't know. You probably shouldn't categorize people like that. Like,
I ain't the most. Like I ain't never go to college and learn all these big ass words and shit. But I explain to the best of my ability. You feel like.
Yeah,
so,
just because crazy has like a lot of connotations. Like the way you define it, the way you define it was really broad. And, like a lot of people are crazy then.
There's levels to this shit, bro. There's levels to this shit.
I agree. I don't know. Work on your rhetoric, I guess.
Well, mainly what I was talking about is the violent ones, the violently insane.
Yeah, that's what I understood when you said it. But, anyways, where's Devil's Avocado?
I don't know. I guess he'll be back in a second. So, who was that dude who called me retarded?
That was me. Yeah, that was me.
What'd you call me retarded for?
Because you said he's crazy because he took Xanax. Because in the end of the day, you said medication is used to, quote unquote, help people like with whatever fucked up brain they have. Like, I guess crazy would be your terminology, but. You said you took Xanax before and you own guns, but you said Devil's Avocado or someone took Xanax, you're not own a gun because that renders them crazy.
But the difference is I did it to have fun,
Right, but that's also a sign of psychopathy, exploiting things for their own gratifications. Does that make you a psychopath? Because I'm not diagnosing you, I'm just asking you.
Wait. Being a psychopath means you exploit things for your own enjoyment.
No, it's one of the symptoms. Yes, it's subjective, but it's true. It's one of the symptoms. Are you a psychopath?
Wait, doesn't everybody exploit things for their own enjoyment?
I don't think everyone does it. I think it comes in various forms. I think we're all cynical, we're all hedonistic, but I don't think we exploit things. I think your definition of exploitation is wrong.
So what about me taking a Xanax for fun was exploitation?
Well, it's substance abuse. That's exploitation.
Of who?
Well, you're abusing substance. What do you mean, who?
So who am I exploiting?
Who? You're abusing a substance which is harming yourself. You're exploiting yourself.
I'm exploiting myself.
Being self-reckless. That's being reckless of yourself, which is also a symptom of psychopathy and sociopathy.
Right, but out of how many?
Right. So if you said right, am I right?
Wait, let me ask you something.
Okay.
So exploitation is one of them. Out of how many do I have to meet in order to be a psychopath?
I don't know. I don't know you. You just told me one thing and I commented on it. How many bullet
points are there? If you go online right now, WebMD, psychopath, how many bullet points in the symptoms? How many symptoms of a psychopath are there?
Well, typically for DSM criteria, 9.
Alright, so let me tell you something about this drug industry, right?
Industry.
You're right. That's 1 out of 9 of those symptoms, right? And if I were to go into a psychiatrist,
you got recklessness as
well. With 2. If I were to go into a psychologist's office right now and say that I have 2 symptoms of psychopathy, he would give me some drugs and send me on my way. And that's the problem that I'm trying to get at. That a lot of these drugs are just given to people who might not even need them. They don't really necessarily.
That's not how it works. You can't demand a prescription. It would require psychological literature verification. Then you would get it from a pharmacist.
No.
I've gotten medication like that before.
What type of medication you taking, bro?
I take Adderall and I take Ripriatrin, which is an antidepressant.
Why are you taking these things, bro?
Because I've diagnosed depression and I use Adderall because I abuse it. I'm exploitative. I don't have ADHD, but I like the way it makes me feel.
Okay, but why are you depressed, bro? What's so depressing?
I don't know. I guess I have depression. I think everyone has some form of depression embedded in them. I think it comes. Not really. I mean, you can have low moods. That's rendered as a depressive episode. So
yeah,
it's not really.
When you say depression, I'm asking you, are you like depressed all the time?
I'd say for the most part I am. I think I sometimes have maniac attacks, but that's due to my BPD. But for the most part, I'm pretty.
So sad, bro. I'm not even sitting here. I'm not even.
I guess I feel empty. I don't know.
You feel like you ain't got a purpose or something? Like, what's up?
Not purpose. I just feel empty. I feel I have no meaning. A purpose is manifested. I just have no meaning.
You got any kids?
I'm 15.
Oh.
Wait, you're 15?
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
What the fuck about your life is so depressing at 15 years old?
Well, I went through a lot younger. I don't want to get into specifics, but you shouldn't be too surprised. You shouldn't be too patriotic because it's just an age. At the end of the day, you shouldn't take. Of course, I may be underdeveloped. My brain is underdeveloped, but still, I still have counter arguments. But
you thought the best thing for you at your underdeveloped brain was
no, I didn't think it was my best. I think it was the college's best idea. I mean, it's scripted. So it's not really my idea.
Drugs into your underdeveloped brain because you're a little sad.
Well, I know it's stupid. Yes, I'm well aware.
And you know what happens if you just abruptly stop taking those things, right?
I do.
So you kind of got yourself caught up.
You could say that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is concerning for sure. Like giving drugs to underdeveloped brains. But hey, we're not doctors. I don't know, but I would suspect that there's going to be a lot.
It's prescriptions. Adderall is a drug, but it's also provided for people with ADHD. It's a prescription. I think if you're talking about, they're pretty much technically both supplemental recreations. But at the end of the day, if you're talking about drugs, I'm assuming under the stereotype like weed, marijuana, cocaine.
It's just not good, bro. It's not good. I mean, those are the same
obviously
levels.
not.
Those things, the weed, marijuana, cocaine, drugs, all that shit, they're all on the same level as the fucking, the shit you're taking.
Depends on the dosage, depends on the profile.
It doesn't, man. You like really, in all actuality, I don't know what you went through in your past, but man, I'm telling you, you could have probably gotten over that with some time. And a lot of young people don't realize, man, y'all got a lot of time, man. Y'all got nothing but time in the world to think.
Well, no, I can die any moment. And then there goes my time.
Yeah, man, but like, what 15-year-old thinks about dying, man? When I was 15 years old, I used to jump bikes off buildings and shit, man. I didn't care about dying.
What? Off buildings?
Yeah, man. It's like, man, just go. Man, y'all need to start living, bro. Just live your life, man. There ain't nothing depressing, dog. Good, dog. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what, I agree with you, Chief Killer, but like telling someone just stop being depressed, like that never works. Like when you say that,
I ain't saying that.
Well, kind of, but like, yeah, in their brain, they're like, yeah, you're fucking retarded. Like I can't just stop being depressed, like, but I even though I agree with you, like that line of reasoning just doesn't work for them.
What I'm saying is just take the time, man. If a lot of these kids, like I got a nephew, y'all, he about 14 years old. He be taking this, what's it called, the Lexapro?
Yeah.
They got him on like 3 different drugs, man, and it's like, if y'all would have just, before, I could see some kids might need it. I ain't holding you up. Some kids might need it, but a lot of these kids, man, just need some time to think and work through it. See, a lot of parents, they don't want to help them. They don't want to help their kids get through shit. They don't want to sit down and talk to them. Show them how they do things when they're stressed out. You're supposed to teach your kid that. You're supposed to teach them how to deal with things when you're stressed out. A lot of these parents just say, fuck it, take him to the psychologist, get him doped up so he can go to bed early. You know what I'm saying, bro? Mm-hmm. I just think it's sad, man.
Originally, I thought I had a misconception. Like, I think I get your point now. I believe you. I actually agree with you. But you were using the wrong instances to propose your argument. But now I understand what you're trying to say. And I can agree on that.
Because shit gets a lot better once you turn 18, right?
Well, I mean, depends on who you are. Depends what you went through. There are too many factors.
I'm telling you personally, shit gets a lot better once you turn 18.
Why? So I can go fuck some random bitch and snort.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm 25 now. I've been an adult for a long time. Shit, I was probably an adult since I was about 14, honestly. But when you turn 18, man, you get to experience freedom, You get to, own your own car, have a job. You get to make your life what you want your life to be. Mm-hmm. And for you to be at 15 years old and say your life has no meaning, no shit, your life has no meaning. You're a fucking kid. Your meaning comes from your parents, what they want you to do every single day. But when you turn 18, or whenever you live alone at 15?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What?
I'm turning 16 and I live alone. My mom pays for my stuff.
Where's your parent?
Are you emancipated or no?
This is so weird.
No, I'm not. It's actually illegal, but...
It's illegal?
pretty much.
Yeah, technically, but there's not really. They don't really care.
Are you in the United States?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of calling cap. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I mean, where are your parents?
My mom lives in I live in Manhattan, so my mom, but I don't know my father is. I don't talk to him in a while.
Damn, you must be pretty well off too if you both live in Manhattan.
Yeah.
I live at Gramercy Park, which is a rich area.
You live in is it a single bedroom apartment in Manhattan? Jeez. How much is that rent?
Yeah. I don't really know. I don't pay it.
Fair enough.
I mean, you don't
even have a grasp on how much it is.
That's cool though. Hey, but listen, that's cool that you got your own place. I mean, so like, what have you done? You got a girl or anything like that?
No, I just, I guess I'm on my computer most of the time.
Hang out on Discord.
So like, why don't you just get out, man? Why don't you, you got your own place. Yo, let me tell you something. I had my own place at 15. Let me tell you all the bitches I kept kicking. Baby, make sure you walk out with your socks on so they don't hear you. I'm telling you, yo, if I had my own place at 15, man, why don't you get out there and, meet people, man?
Where do you do that?
People. I have friends.
You have friends?
I do.
Like, actual real ones? Like, not internet ones, right?
No, I have real friends, yes.
That's what's up.
Do you hang out with them?
Sometimes, yes.
Man, you're so far ahead of most of us were when we were 15. You got your own place in Manhattan, Jesus.
And friends.
And friends, yeah.
You're being sarcastic. I can't tell.
I'm not being sarcastic.
No, I was sarcastic about the friends part, but the first part, I agree with his point. Being in Manhattan, that's a big deal.
So what? So you're not sad?
Your own place.
Sad about what mainly makes you sad? Like, what do you think about when you're sad?
Like, what do I think about, like, when I'm depressed, or when I'm experiencing depressive episode, or just sad?
What's up with that?
I think about suicide.
No, I'm saying, like, why though? Like, what triggers that?
I have an unstable self-image, and I feel empty inside. So I feel as if like I have no meaning. Yeah, and you said I'm a kid, so I have no meaning. My meaning is my parents, but I just feel as if I have no meaning.
Where do you think meaning comes from? Rationalism.
What I think meaning comes from, I believe it comes from self-image, self-perception. I don't know what my perception is.
Do you think you can find that perception, or
no?
I've tried. At this point, you don't think it's possible of yours?
No, I feel unmotivated.
To even try anymore?
To even try, yes.
But you realize there might be a possibility to fix that self-image.
There's a possibility that I can fly the next day, but radiation burns me.
Well, yeah, but there's levels to it. Do you realize the possibility of that is greater than that?
You mean probability or possibility? I'm talking about possibility.
Well, I'm using them, I guess, interchangeably in this point, but probability, I guess. Is there a higher probability?
Well, it's rhetorical, of course. I doubt I'd be able to fly.
So is it just you who can't get the self-image, or do you think anybody who lacks a self-image is going to,
anyone who lacks a self-image is eventually going to fall into some state of depression?
But I'm saying, like, what is it about your self-image you don't like, though? What is it about your self-image you don't like?
It's not that I don't like, I just don't know who I am.
So it's not like a physical thing, it's more like a mental thing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think everybody goes through that, right? At a certain point, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. I mean, really honestly, bro, I'm gonna keep it real.
That's why I said everyone has some form of depression embedded in them.
No, I'm saying, like, I'm gonna keep it real G with you real quick. Don't nobody know what the fuck they're doing right now. Even the people who you think got it together don't really got it together, bro. We just wing this shit every single day.
I'm speaking to you on Discord.
I'm serious, bro. We just wing this shit. Even the richest people in the world, bro, just wing this shit. They just got lucky and got some wealth with it. You just got to go out and start winging it, bro. I mean, do you work? You ever tried to work?
I work, yes.
Where you work? I mean, what do you do? Don't tell me exactly where you work at. Like, what do you do?
Well, I sell books.
He's an author.
Like at a bookstore?
No, I'm not an author.
I'm just memeing.
No, you work at a bookstore?
Pretty much, yes.
So, I mean, like, what do you want to do with your life?
Do you have any ambition? Or?
No.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's part of the problem, right?
Yeah, why don't you just got to start thinking about what you want to do with your life?
Well, it's a bit easier said than done, wouldn't you say?
Not really. I mean, I asked myself. I think I was like 18, 19. I wasn't doing shit with my life. I was working at McDonald's for like 3 years. I said, what do I want to do with my life, man? Okay, and I figured out my passion was I like cars. So now I work at a car dealership, and I'm on my way to become a manager there.
Sure.
You know?
But what if you don't find that passion? Do you think everybody has a passion fundamentally?
I think everyone has a passion. I mean, every man has a passion, at least. Women are a little different.
Okay, we can pause and go back on that later. But I'm curious.
Every man has an ambition, bro. I'm telling you. There's not a single man I've ever met.
He's just got to find it. Like, he's just got to deep down, dig deep inside himself to introspect and find his passion.
You got to look at all the things in your life that bring you enjoyment. You got to say to yourself, what do I enjoy the most, and how can I make money off this? Like, if you like sitting on the computer, like you said, you like playing games and shit?
No, I like read, or sometimes I read. I play like cognitive games, like memory games, stuff like that.
I'm saying, like, what brings you the most enjoyment in your life right now?
Probably talking to people.
So I mean, why don't you get into something where you talk to people? If you're a salesman, that's what I do.
I talk to people every day. I talk to people every day at my when I work.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can get specific jobs where all you do, they pay you to talk to people.
Yeah. That would just get tiring.
I don't know. You just got to find what you're into.
Yeah, rationalism. Do you have enough money that you don't need to work for the rest of your life?
Rest of my life, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that's kind of one of the problems. Like, you don't.
Loyal.
There's like nothing forcing you to, I guess, find.
No, there's no reason.
Yeah, like, I guess it's one of the curses of rich people. They don't. There's just no reason to do anything or to get motivated. Like,
yeah, you ever starved or anything?
I think it's harder. You have to find your purpose, which I don't know if everybody has one. I don't know if I do with that. But if you do have a purpose, you're gonna have to find it beyond. Well, I think everybody could have a purpose. I think you have to make your purpose. I don't think it's something inherent. I think you have to make your purpose, and you may or may not be able to make that purpose. But I think it's gonna have to be beyond work for rich people, probably. I think a lot of poorer people can find their purpose within their work.
We're kind of forced to. Yeah, we got to pay the bills.
Yeah, we have to find purpose somewhere when we don't have much time. But I even know a lot of poor people who just work for a living. Those people who, don't give a fuck. They clean gutters and then they come home and are cool with cracking a beer, and that's where they get their enjoyment out of life. Versus, they obviously don't enjoy their job, but some people are lucky enough to get some fulfillment out of their job.
Chief, you wanted to say something?
No, I'm just saying, like, if the boys never starved or ever struggled before, I mean, shit, I don't know. I mean, that was my whole reasoning for getting out of McDonald's was like, damn, I'm sick of working for the same paying, I ain't putting no food on the table or nothing.
Yeah.
And I got 5 baby mamas, so I'm on child support for 5 different kids.
Shit. What?
Yeah, so
oh god damn.
They was taking directly out my checks and shit.
You're joking, right?
No, I'm being dead ass. I was working 40 hours a week. And paying child support
from
on
your
5
second
kids.
mistake, like your first mistake, okay, that's inevitable. But your second
don't you know
mistake,
what causes
your third
that by now?
mistake, your fourth mistake, and your fifth mistake.
Wait, well, listen, I love all my kids, man. Even though I ain't seen them, I love them all. I mean, my baby mama's kind of a bitch, but it's like this, child support. They take that shit directly out your checks, and so I'd be working like 45, 50 hours a week at McDonald's, and I'd walk home at the end of the week with like $150 in my check. So I figured, I got to go find something else to do, and that's what really got me to a point. Everyone hits that crossroad. You know what I'm talking about? Where you're like, damn, bro, this ain't working. What should I do next? And that shit sucks, right? Because I was scared as fuck. Because if you don't make your child support payments, they lock your ass up. It's a felony in this state.
Wait, let me make sure I got this correct. You have 5 baby mamas.
I got 5 baby mamas. I got 5 cheering.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, rationalism. It's kind of what Chief Killer said. You're young. You have so much time.
Okay, right. But I want to get to the point. Did you not learn from your second mistake? I want to know how that happened.
Yeah, that explains your view on abortion too.
But you're pro-abortion?
Yeah,
hell yeah, I'm pro.
Of course, you got 5 baby mamas. You're gonna be pro-abortion.
Hell yeah, I'm pro-abortion.
That's
I'll
funny.
be out there. Hey, I'll be out there with them.
This motherfucker.
Fight for the women. I'll be
murdering babies. Just out here murdering babies.
Listen, right? So yeah, listen, I'll tell you what happened, right? let me teach you a little something. Don't let these women catch you up, right? Because they'll lie to you. They'll be like,
bro, you got 5 people pregnant. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know why she take advice from you, man.
Like, oh, I'm on my birth control. Listen though, they'll be like, oh, I'm on my birth control and shit, right? Make sure you check if they're actually taking their pills, right? Because the first girl, boom, boom, boom.
Wear a condom,
Do you use
motherfucker.
protection, bro? Do you use like protection?
Nah, I don't like that shit. Cause it feels weird, bro. I don't like that shit.
I agree, that shit is the worst. But like, you don't want to. If you can't trust the bitch, you can't be.
Yeah, don't come inside.
Or did you?
Like you said, didn't you learn from your first mistake? Don't come inside, even if they say they're on birth control. Like the first one deceived you, right?
Man, but listen, the shit be feeling so good in the moment. I'll be a little drunk, you feel me? I'll be listening to the weekend.
Oh,
you know,
drunk.
be cutting on the
Now that
weekend.
explains it.
Finish anywhere. You can finish anywhere else, but you just you just couldn't.
I mean, I'm a lover, not a fighter. You
That's
feel
the
me?
thing. You're not a pullout either. Like,
Well, I hope
you
it
gotta
was
practice
worth
that pullout game, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I love my baby mamas. They be getting on my nerves, but I still love them. And I love them my little kids and shit.
Yeah.
Have you even seen your kids or?
Of course.
Yeah, I see my kids. I see one of them tomorrow, and I got visitation with another one next week.
Sounds like a crazy lifestyle, though. Having 5 baby mamas. Like,
You're
one baby
commenting
mama's
on my lifestyle.
It's cool. I'll be like Santa Claus on Christmas. You know, I go from house to house to house.
Nice.
How old are your kids? So
My oldest one is 5, and my youngest one is 2 months.
at 20 or
This
20.
dude,
I'm 25 years
2
old.
months?
I know, no,
2 months?
I'm saying 5 years back.
I'm definitely not taking advice from you, dude. This was just
Yeah,
a couple.
no, I'm sorry.
This
I'm
was like a year
sorry.
ago.
No, it's
Yeah,
all good. It's all
I
good.
can't.
It's all. Ain't none taken. No offense taken. You feel me? But it just happened. You know.
Do you have any more?
Well, it
baby
definitely
mamas?
happened.
Yeah. Do you plan on having any more kids? Any more baby mamas?
I think I'm happy where I'm at right now. You know, I was thinking about getting one of them vasectomies. Actually, my mama was telling me about it. She said it's probably the right thing for me. So
Yeah.
I might go ahead and. But no, I love my kids, yo. My kids are my world. That's my purpose.
Would you ever like properly like impregnate someone and like actually start a family or like even adopt a child?
I mean, it's complicated, right? Like I tried to start the second one. I tried to start a family with. You know, we was doing all the right things. You know, honey, I'm home. You know, coming home from work and shit. But you know, bitches these days they got a whole different prerogative these days. You know what I'm saying? They got a whole different prerogative, these bitches these days. You know, it's all this you know, like this strong female shit. You know, I can do it by myself type shit, and they don't want to take, you know, nothing from nobody. You know, they think they got this shit. But the funniest thing about it that I find with these girls who are like these feminists and shit, they think they got it all on their own. Bro, all these bitches put their man on child support. So you got it all by yourself, but you still got to take my money. We might as well be in a family, right? You might as well be coming home to me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I tried the family thing for a while, you know, but it just ain't work out.
You're from Kansas, right?
Yeah, I'm from Kansas.
If it was from like maybe like Chicago or like Colorado, I mean Chicago or like Detroit, I completely understand. But Kansas?
Kansas got some shit going on here though. Don't let the word Kansas put no images into your head. Kansas City is a motherfucker, and there's about 3 million people in the metro area. So we got all types of cities filled with a bunch of people. Kansas is a big place.
400,000, you told me, or you told us.
I'm talking about the metro area. So you got Kansas City with 400,000 people, but you got a whole bunch of other suburbs around with more people in it. So it's a big ass place.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Big city.
So any any other interests you have, other than like do you want to start like a political conversation or something?
Let me think.
I don't know. I'm kind of interested in your situation, Rationalism, because I know some rich kids who feel the same way you do. They just have no motivation. Like, what's the point? They already have money. I don't know.
About my lifestyle or my ideology.
I mean, I guess your lifestyle, your mentality.
I'm nihilistic and negativistic. That's that.
Yeah.
Are you happy? Or no, are you sad?
Well, he's a
No, I'm fucking happy as fuck.
Are you?
So why do you think
No.
about suicide if you're happy?
It's sarcasm.
Which part, the happy or the suicide?
It's a happy.
So you're sad? Is that the word you would use to describe it? I'm just curious what...
I think he's bipolar.
Yeah.
He said he was bipolar, right?
No, BPD, borderline personality disorder.
Oh, borderline personality. Okay. So that means like.
Do you frequently have like flare-ups of your borderline?
I just cannot control my emotions, and I have difficulties regulating them.
And this is constant? It's not something that comes...
It's constant. It comes instinctively. Like, if you say something I dislike, I can feel rage, and I can, like, hold that for a while. Yeah, I can't control it.
Yeah, like we saw that earlier. When he said crazy, like, you were out of control. So, okay.
I don't know about that. I don't know if he got out of control.
Yeah, he
just got a bit angry, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't think it was out of control.
I think it's important to define terms as vague as crazy. I agree with rationality on that.
Alright.
Because it's like that sounds like fish. Like the word fish means nothing. Like it defines there's so many subclasses of fish. Like crazy has so many subclasses. It's just kind of a useless term. So but that's backtracking.
Right, so lifestyle, I mean like I don't really pay attention to my emotions. I don't think I do. Like in real life, I feel as if like I mask every day. Like no one knows the real me in real life, at least. But online, like I kind of like open up, I guess.
Okay, why is
which is why I like the online, because I feel as if like it's much more easier, less complicated. Because I mean, of course, like it's not like in real life they can get weirded out, or they can feel as if like they don't have control over the situation, or they can't. I don't know. They just. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like a feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, but people get weirded out online too. What you mean? You can weird people out online too.
Yeah, I mean you can, but it's not as severe as in real life.
Are you authentic around your friends?
Authentic?
Yeah. Do they see the real you, or are you just like doing a theatrical performance?
I think like two people. Yes.
So only two people?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can get weird online, but there's no like social buy-in. Like you have no investment into any.
You're robotic. You're robotic a little bit, Devil.
Or like I don't give a fuck if I offend any of you guys or make you guys feel uncomfortable or anything like that. But in person, it's people don't like to make people feel uncomfortable as much as they do. It's a lot more easy for people to do that.
About real life conversations versus like internet conversations is that to me real life conversations always feel more authentic. The debates seem more lively, like the conversations seem a bit more, you know what I'm saying, like it's just a lot of
it's in real life. At the end of the day, you can't guarantee the person you're conversing with is who they say they are or who they claim they are. But in real life it's so obvious, like even if they mask, you know who they are.
So it sounds like that's what you're scared of, honestly. It sounds like you don't want people to know who you actually are. So
that's
you
one of
prefer
my
online
fears,
conversation. So you prefer online conversation.
Right on, yeah, that's correct.
But that's the thing, though. You can't feel that way, man. Everybody out here is just trying to be themselves, in real life. If you just be yourself, because really you don't want to be surrounded by fake people who think you're that, a certain way when you're actually not. Because you want to be, at the end of the day, everybody just wants to be themselves and be loved,
Yeah.
And everyone deserves that.
It must be exhausting to just put on a fake personality all the time. Jesus Christ.
It's, I don't know, maybe. I think it's quite easy, actually.
Well, does it make you happy to be fake?
I think in the moment, yes. Like, I kind of like, I get so adapted to it, I convince myself it's real. But then, the moment the conversation interaction ends, I know that everything that just happened is a memory now. It's not real.
Okay.
So then, how do you build long-term friendships? Like
I said, like long terms only applies to certain people, like who I'm gonna be realistic with, or who I'm gonna like open up myself to, like really. But like online people who like I lie to, I guess I don't really expect or anticipate like long term friendships, just like short term friendships.
I mean, with anyone. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're all. I mean, we're all people. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're all.
But I have like specific criteria for friends long term.
I'm saying, like, how do you just flat out lie to people? Like, I don't get that. Like, how do you just flat out?
I don't know. I just don't feel remorse after I lie. I feel as if like it doesn't matter. Lies are common. It's used in language.
But it's not.
Yeah, I mean that's your warped vision. Like,
Well, for me, it's in my world. It is. It's normalized because my mother and father both have disorders. My father's a sociopath. My mother's bipolar.
I don't know. Lying is really weird to me, man. There ain't nothing to lie about, really.
Yeah.
You know, if you got a fucked up life, just say it. I mean, that's really the only way you're ever gonna have genuine conversations. You know?
I don't think genuine conversations mean that much to me. Actually, I just think that as long as like, I guess what the thing with me is, because I don't know myself. Like I completely don't know myself. I rely on others' like a false perception on me, so I can kind of like construct a fake personality. So getting false perceptions of me would sort of give me a purpose to fulfill like a relationship with them.
Okay, so right now I perceive you as a chronic liar. Like, you want to build a personality off of that?
I would.
Why?
Because so I can have a reason to talk to you.
Wow, this is so strange. I don't know what to say. But I don't want to talk to a liar.
I don't think it's strange. Do you think it's strange? I mean, I'm curious. Do you guys really not understand where this emotional response is coming from? So, like, you don't see that he feels. Correct me if I'm wrong in anything, because I might be psychoanalyzing you a little bit, but I think I understood you a little bit. It seems like he feels a little bit of fear, like he said, of people knowing the real him. That fear. So what he does to cope with that fear is puts up a shield or a mask, whatever you want to call it.
What's so wrong with the real him? What's so wrong with the real him? Just be yourself.
Well,
I just don't like myself.
That's the issue he doesn't even know the answer to, I'd imagine. What's wrong with the real you? What is it, rationalism?
I feel
like look at yourself in the mirror. Tell me what is like specifically.
I feel
insufficient for what?
Stupid. I feel unattractive. I feel as if like I want to perfect myself, so I rely on a fake character, also known as my facade, to kind of, again, shield myself.
Yeah, but man, ain't nobody perfect. That's the beautiful thing about having conversations with people. And man, it's like, you got someone like Avocado. I mean, we just all met and everything like that.
Oh, I know.
Well, we're all different as hell, you know?
I love people's flaws. I just don't like my own flaws.
But you gotta man, it's like I'm telling you, if you were to just be yourself, dog, it ain't that hard.
Okay.
See, I don't think these solutions, like, be yourself, these broad generalized, like, you just got to do it, just stop being sad. Like, sadly, I don't think these problems are...
That ain't what I'm saying. What I am saying is do everything besides what he just said he does. Because that's pointless, man. That's stupid. Nah, it ain't stupid. I ain't calling you stupid. What I'm saying is just, like, why?
That's the thing. Do you think he makes, like, do you think he chooses to feel these things? Like, do you choose to feel happy and sad? Like, these aren't emotions you choose. These are things that happen to you. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, I choose to...
Well, okay.
I mean, I choose to express my true self. You know what I'm saying? I didn't fucking... You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't coming here, hey, guys, I'm the richest man in the world. And you know what I'm saying? Like...
No, of course. You have some level of comfortability within yourselves. But it sounds like rationalism doesn't have the same level of needs.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to help him understand. He thinks people are going to judge him based off it. But really, I mean, who cares if someone judges you, bro? I mean, you just like, everybody's got some issues, bro.
Well, okay, how about like starting by just telling the truth all the time? So you said you feel inadequate, you feel unintelligent, unattractive. What else do you not like about yourself?
I dislike every, like... I just dislike my perspective of myself. I don't know who I am, and therefore I take myself practically, like, I base myself off my intelligence, my looks, like, pretty much, like, I guess, just, I give myself, like, a false, like, I kind of, like, rely on, like, certain things to kind of make myself kind of feel good, like, momentarily. Like, I don't know, I just don't feel, like, enough of anything.
It's the fucking video games, yo, I'm telling you.
I don't play video games.
I'm serious.
It's probably a learned behavior. Do you realize that? Probably
from them created character games.
Not from video games, I don't think.
definitely from video games, in my opinion.
There's plenty of studies that video games do not cause any psychological damage like that.
We can get into that later. We're talking to him. Man.
Fair enough.
No, but I think.
Okay, so like when you say you're not smart, because like we've been talking to you for a while, like I don't know, to me you sound pretty smart for your age.
I think your name fits you. I think you're very rational. It sounds like.
Yeah. So like, what are you comparing yourself to when you say you're not smart?
I don't, like I said, like I rely on like my false character, like my alter ego, pretty much. And when I interact with people, I kind of like, I guess I envy like who they are because they know them, or I assume they know themselves. Like I assume they can define themselves easily without any hesitation. But I feel as if like I compare myself to others because I don't know who I am, and I pretty much just kind of like interpolate that all into my alter ego to perfect myself, I guess.
I didn't understand a word this dude said.
Okay, that was pretty hard to understand. I gotta say that was hard.
Okay, if you're smart, right, and I feel stupid, I'm going to extract that personality, or not personality. I'm going to extract that characteristic of you, or that attribute of you, and interpolate, which I'm assuming you're too uneducated to understand the word, Chief. What it means is to pretty much insert something or to import something in another structure. So I'm going to take that, put that in that structure, and that'll be a part of my alter ego, my false character.
Okay.
Damn, that sounds so lame.
I'm curious. I'm going to psychoanalyze. Was you calling him uneducated? Was that part of the shield too? Of that you feel a little bit uneducated?
No, he's just being annoying because he keeps saying he thinks he's still fucking narcissistic. He thinks that these will help me, but I'm not you. I'm much more sophisticated than you.
Wait, how am I narcissistic? I ain't coming here saying I'm the smartest person in the world.
That's not what narcissism is.
So how am I a narcissist?
No, because you think that all these solutions apply to everyone, meaning you have a biased perception that applies to everyone that manifests your happiness. You expect it to be reoccurring for everyone else. Narcissism, grandiose tendencies, importance, self-importance.
Hold up, Einstein. Ain't nobody fucking give you no solutions. I ain't give you no solutions, man. I'm just sitting here listening to you.
You just said
and responding
happy. To you. It's all caused by video games. You're giving definitive answers. Not a suggestion. Suggestion would be maybe it's that, or what if it's that? Not, it's the fucking video games, quote unquote.
That wasn't a suggestion, but I mean, I think they're a little broad-ended. I mean, I think it's obviously good advice. Obviously easier said than done, too. That's the issue I would have with it. Obviously, if he could do that, if he could flip a switch, I'd hope he would flip that switch and do it. But sadly, he doesn't know how to do it. That's what we need to get into. How does he be happy on a day-to-day basis? How do we do that? How does he get comfortable with himself? These are the questions that are harder to answer.
I'll tell you how. Just stop lying.
I think that might be a good step. I don't think lying is probably going to really help you in the long run. Like, you've even realized that. You said with your long-term relationships, you don't lie as much. You must have realized that lying, it does give you some level of defense and shield when you want the comfort. And that's something you're going to have to slowly wean off of if you feel like it's important. But I don't think lying, like, have you already admitted? I'm not sure. I missed a little bit of this conversation. Did you lie to us earlier about Manhattan and all that?
No.
So you haven't lied to us at all in this conversation?
I'd have to think.
And to me, this is kind of a dumb question because I guess you're incentivized to lie about the question, kind of. Like if you were lying, you would just lie about the answer. So I guess that's kind of a dumb question. I shouldn't even ask it.
No, it's not a dumb question.
Hey, but listen. It ain't too late, brother. If you're lying, just say you're lying, and we can move on.
And that's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
So far.
Yeah, I think he's been telling the truth. But...
And that's the thing. I don't care if you're lying or not. It really has no effect on me at the end of the day. I mean, that's the issue. Even on Discord, I think it's even more pointless to lie to an extent. Or I guess if you want to lie on Discord, it really doesn't have as much of an effect. If you want to act like you're...
I think the reason I'm opening up is because I actually want to help. Like, I actually want some help or advice. That's the reason why I'm actually opening up.
Yeah, well,
and that's why I asked. It does feel like you're trying to open up. That's why I asked if you were lying about anything earlier in the conversation.
Well, that's my advice, Rationalism. Just stop lying. That's like the first step. Just try to always tell the truth. Yeah.
All right, I'll try.
The truth, obviously you don't know truth and stuff, but
just stop lying.
No, I think that would definitely help with. In the long run, I think it is what you use as a shield, probably, to feel like it's not the real you. But really, you're never going to be able to get comfortable with the real you or know the real you if whenever you find it within I think within interaction with other people. Sadly, we are social creatures that require interaction deeply with other people. It seems like for most people. Maybe you're different, but and obviously that's the thing. Advice is obviously always easier given than. So I'm not saying any of these.
It's arbitrary. I know. Yes.
I don't know about arbitrary necessarily, but I think it has some grounding. But
I think it'll always be subjective because it applies to one individual or is stereotyped, phenotyped, or at least for one individual. So I think it's inherently biased, which makes it arbitrary. But that's just me.
Well, you think if you stop lying, you think you wouldn't have? You think that's you might have deeper relationship? You think that's a statement that can only be given to some people?
Repeat that.
I think that's a general statement. Not lying might get you deeper relationships and more fulfilled in a person. I think that's general advice you could give. Would you agree with that? Or do you think that's specific advice you have to give to specific people?
I think it's that's just general advice, yes.
Okay, fair enough. And that's the thing. I guess it's general advice. And obviously, like I said, any advice isn't something you could just this is something you're going to have to want to do. You're going to have some will to want to change, and like you said, you already said you want to be different in this conversation. So in order to do that, if you would want to maybe try and stop lying, see if that works. Maybe we're bullshitting. Maybe we don't know. Obviously, like you said, it could be not you. That could not work for you. But if you really did care about it, you would experiment, I think, in some way and see if not lying maybe made you feel more fulfilled and maybe gave you a little bit more sense of self and these type of things. Well, and who knows, maybe it doesn't.
I just want to say, I want to go for it. Don't just say don't lie. I'd say actively tell the truth. Just actively tell what you're really feeling, what you're really thinking about people, and just see what happens. I think you're going to get some good results.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys, people are nicer than you think, dog. My question to you is, why you get so upset with me? What's up?
I'm not upset with you. It was just a comment. A snarky comment, but.
Well, I'm saying something about me. You could have conversations with these people, but what is it about me that makes you respond with such anger? I mean, you call me a retard.
Because they're trying to help. They're suggesting you're giving me definitive answers, and you're generalizing what my sources of issues are. That's fucking stupid.
But how does that?
Look, I know you. Your issue is because you can't wear a fucking condom. That's empirical. I know you because you can't move a couch. Right? That's an assumption. It's just you can't.
I think you get mad.
Oh, it's because of the baby mamas. That's why you can't move a couch, right?
I think.
You know how stupid that is?
Well, hold on. I think you get mad because I don't think you're as smart as you think you are.
I don't think I'm smart. I told you I think I'm stupid.
No, I think you really try to push. This is another lie you got to stop. Stop trying to make yourself sound smarter than you actually are, and try to actually talk. Have a normal conversation. You don't have to, throw out every single big word in the book that you learn on Discord just to have a conversation.
I'm not using big words.
This isn't a dick
talk.
This is more so you have to learn how to have just a normal conversation without trying to one-up people. You feel me?
I'm not trying to one-up anyone, especially you. You're useless to me.
Don't one-up yourself, Just be chill.
How would you benefit me? You have 5 fucking baby mamas. You see your kids on a ritual week. You're a fucking disappointment. Don't talk to me. Thank you.
I'm a disappointment, yo. That's cool, man. You can respond with anger. Listen, when you respond with anger, that's when I know I'm right. I'll tell you that.
I mean,
you were never correct.
His advice is definitely vague and maybe hard to attribute in your life, but I don't think anything he did was out of any ill will towards you. I think any ill will you're taking is just you perceiving it in that way. I think he only was giving those solutions in the best of intentions. So I think really for you to get so mad at him, I think it's a little. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter. Like I said, you can get as mad as you want, but
yes.
I don't think he meant anything. I don't think he meant to offend you or anything.
I don't think he knows what he's talking about, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's not really. If someone's dumb, and I'm not saying he's dumb, if you view someone as dumb, that's not a reason to be mad at them necessarily.
Oh, I'm not mad because he's dumb.
Or lash out at them, because that's what that was. I mean, specifically call them names, just because that conversation was really pointless, that whole back and forth.
Right,
really, it was a little entertaining.
It was ad hominem, I know.
Well, not ad hominem because we're not having a broader discussion. But I don't think there's.
No, we kind of are. It's about emotional intelligence. We were shifting between politics, fluctuating between emotional.
Well, but it's not ad hominem.
Coping
if we're gonna get into
I mean, if it's
ad hominem is when you're insulting someone as an argument. That's an ad hominem. You were just insulting him to insult him.
It's a general argument.
No, you weren't saying he's dumb. That's why this and this is bad. You were just saying he's dumb. Like you were just insulting him. You weren't ad hom. Ad hom is when you use an insult as an argument to defend your point. Like you're dumb, so that's why you're wrong about this, political issue or whatever. That's an ad hominem.
I called him wrong because he's giving me definitive solutions. I disagreed with that. I called him an idiot to bash him for his retarded proposition. I think that's ad hominem.
Man, you got some issues, kiddo. You got to work those out.
Wait, what? Wait, repeat. I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
I said you got some issues, man. You got to work that out.
Once again, the reason why I've been talking about myself is because I have issues. I want to help. That's the whole reason I've been fucking talking about myself.
Do you see a psychiatrist? Do you see a mental health therapist?
I do. I see two therapists.
Do you lie to them?
What? Not really. I think I lied to my therapist before, but she's called me on it.
Does therapy help?
Emotional therapy, sort of. I mean, it helps in my anger issues, even though I still have a bit of it. I could get physical at times. I don't get physical anymore, though.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Chief. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I know that from the beginning.
This conversation is crazy.
It's so funny.
There's a lot of different personalities in this chat.
Yes, what a weird mix. Well, it was a lot of fun.
I do enjoy all of you, though. I mean, obviously, it's a little hostile. It's been an enjoyable conversation, though. Just
What happened?
No, I'm saying it's lit. We having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously. Once we start talking about someone's personal life, too, obviously it's going to get a little bit... Like, we're making personal prescriptions now about his life. It's going to get a little rough. Like, if we were doing the same about you to an extent, it gets a little rough to me. I mean, obviously some people get more offended than others, and there's different stuff like that, but...
Yes.
Like, I think if we were talking about a political issue, it might be a little less heated in some ways, but who knows?
People get a little...
Some people... That's the thing. It depends on the conversation, but it seems like rationality could have a rational conversation about certain political things. He even wanted to have a political conversation earlier before.
Yes.
And that's the thing. He seems to struggle maybe on the emotional side, but seems pretty good on the rational side.
I'm emotionally retarded. I have like an 80 EQ.
What's up with the politics, man?
I like politics.
What's up with these fucking Republicans, baby?
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. The fuck, man?
Are you Republican or Democrat, or do you identify with either of those?
Well, he's
Democrat.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm a Republican.
All right,
I'm a neocon. Come on, man.
We got a Democrat, a Republican, and what about you, Rationalism?
I'm a centrist.
Based?
A fence-sitting centrist.
Yeah.
No, do you vote? Or are you of age of... Oh, you said you were 15. What the fuck? Oh, what the fuck? Would you vote? I'm curious. Are you so black-pilled voting seems pointless?
I think in this current state of, or in the political campaign, or like with our current presidents, or people trying to become president, I think they're all shit choices. I'd say I'd be independent, but if I had to generally choose, I'd be much more democratic, I think.
Yeah, and I'd say, just to give mine, I'd have to say centrist too, but tend to vote Republican a lot of the time. I agree with a lot more of the issues.
Yeah, I like you.
But like obviously there are some left-leaning issues too.
You say you're from California, right?
Who?
Avocado.
No, I'm not from California. I've lived in California though.
Okay, you from Texas? You sound like someone from Texas.
No, actually, right in between Arizona. Well, kind of in between. One of the two states.
You have the Arizonan accent, I think. I haven't heard.
Do you think so?
Much. I've heard someone.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have an interesting voice. Someone joined the chat earlier and said, "What the fuck happened to your voice?" and then left the chat. So.
They're fucking stupid.
No, honestly, I think the Democrats got it, man. They're the only people coming with the good ideas right now. The Republicans suck, yeah.
You think the Democrats have like a monopoly on good ideas? Like you don't think a Republican can come up with a good idea?
Man, name one good idea from a Republican right now. I'll give you 5 seconds.
Well, you have a gun, man, so...
authoritarianism, like controlling the borders, so there's no legal immigrants coming in, or
sure, I think let's say illegal immigration. We could go on that. I'm not too strong opinionated on that.
You know what?
Filibuster.
I can give that to the Republicans, but at the same time, though, like I don't really see an issue with the border. Like honestly,
you don't see an issue with like illegal immigration.
I mean, you got to get deep down, man, and think about the real reason they're coming here, bro. They're fleeing, man. These are people fleeing. We got to let those people.
Sure, but there's a process. I agree. I think I'm all about letting in more legal immigrants personally. We might disagree on that. Like Supreme might disagree on that. I'm not sure. But I think legal immigrants of like, maybe we might have some skilled labor issues. But obviously, if they can say they're fleeing in some way, and obviously I think there'd be a lot of cases of that. I think it should be pretty lenient, and we should allow legal immigrants. But they need to go through the process. I don't think we can have people just jumping over the border.
How long is the process, man? It shit takes years.
Yeah, we could expedite it too, but I don't think that gives you an excuse to jump over it. I mean, if a lot of these people could seek asylum pretty quickly, I mean, obviously it's not the best conditions, but if you're actually fleeing from a violent situation somewhere where your life could be at risk, you can go enter at the border entrance and get put in for asylum. That's a process that millions of people do every single day. But also, a bunch of people decide to jump over the border and skip that process. Obviously, it takes a while, but if you're really fleeing, you'd want to do it the right way, get your proper citizenship, and not have to live under. And I'm not saying if I had to do it, I might illegally immigrate too, but I think we should make it easier to legally immigrate, but harder to illegally immigrate. That's because obviously illegal immigrants I don't think are good for a country. I don't think it's good to not know who's in your country, ultimately. I think there are probably negative results.
But think about how much better it would be, man, if like that border shit didn't exist, dog. You know,
but then again, there's the prospect of, I guess, the drug businesses or drug industry, I guess increasing or murders increasing. It's just that we would require a definitive system or a proper system to pretty much differentiate between who's eligible to pretty much go to America. It's like just kind of seeing like who's legitimate and who's not, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why we have the process of where you have to come in through the gates.
My man.
Every country has a border that they enforce to some extent. I mean, every country who has anything worth protecting, I guess.
My belief is we're all children of the planet. You feel me?
Come on, dude.
Hey,
come on, John Lennon.
Chief.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, Chief. You think?
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, you think like the Taliban should just be able to fly in here and whatever?
This thing I get. Ideally, obviously, a world we could all just live together in kumbaya and sing together and hold hands, all be one race. But obviously, there are realities of like people being shitty people and things like that happening, and people doing shitty things, and people being, doing things for greed and pride, like all these sins that we can talk about.
That's a small minority.
That's a minority that's very loud, that causes a lot of havoc and murder and killing and rape, and these people may be a minority, but cause a lot of the majority of the harm in the world.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm kind of sympathetic to wanting to increase immigration. So, like, I want a lot more legal immigration, like a lot more, just because it's so good for GDP. And we have an aging population.
Really? Yeah, I think it is good. Yeah. From what I've seen.
Yeah, we just need to brain drain every country. I have no problems about that. I want America to be #1, best GDP, best economy, best everything. So, come over here.
I don't know, man. I heard that most of the illegal immigrants, like the people who jump the border, they're like women and children and shit.
No, I agree. I probably agree. Most of the illegal immigrants are probably just people who are like, fuck that process. It might be even the decision I made if I had my family with me. It might be the decision I made if I didn't know what the process was like. I didn't know. I might decide to jump the border. I'm not blaming these people necessarily. Like, I'm not saying like they're bad people, but there are also, you got to admit, there are also probably bad people who are just going to be like, hey, I could also just jump over here and do a bunch of illegal drug trading and do a bunch of other illegal stuff, crime and stuff like that. Maybe the minority of the people. But we want to make it easier for the law-abiding people, the mothers and children and these type of people to get in, and harder for the cartel and other illegal people to get in. And if you disagree with that, then I think you're brain dead, but that's a personal thing.
With that, but how do we do that? You can't build a wall,
Why not? Why can't you build a wall? What happens if you build a wall? Does the world explode?
I'll tell you why, man. Because when I think about a wall, this is just my opinion. I think a wall sends a message. And that message is, we don't want any of you here. This country.
No.
This country isn't a. And you gotta think it incentivizes people also. Like mean people in this country who want to not allow people. You know what I'm saying? People are racist sometimes. I just think that, you know, when it comes to the South Americans and the Central Americans and the Mexicans, you know, most of them are good, hardworking people.
Of course.
Who is, you know, if we really wanted to help out, instead of focusing so much on the border, we should go down there, send some people down there to fix their drug cartel problem. You know?
Yeah, why not both?
Wait,
but it's an individual nation. It's an individual country.
We don't want to go nation build either. Like,
yeah, like
the U.S. interfering in that stuff hasn't had the best.
Just think of that politically. Like, yeah, we're going to send U.S. men to go die to kill the cartels in South America. Like, just think of that messaging politically. That's never going to fly.
And then it's just going to be another vacuum war. It's going to be a forever war. We can't leave Mexico. Then we'd have to be there, or else as soon as we leave, the cartel would rise up again. It's going to be another endless war. That's why we don't interfere in these type of things unless they really affect us to an extent. And it's a weird how we decided to an extent, but
not affect us though. Drug deaths and shit.
No, that's the other thing. Even if I agreed with you, what if we did both? What if we protect our borders and help these Central Americans in Mexico? Like, I don't see an issue like with protecting the border. Like, they're not. I don't think there's a dichotomy there. I don't think they're separate. Like they can't be dealt with.
I think it is separate because the border, as an issue in the United States of America, really all it comes down to, in my opinion, you got the white people who want to keep America white, and you got people who just really don't.
That's racist itself.
That's the thing. You're making a caricature out of it. Obviously, those people exist. I'm not going to deny that. But that is not the majority of the Republican Party. The majority of the Republican Party isn't racist. The majority of the yes, I'm sure about that.
Yeah, I'm a Republican. I'm not racist.
Yeah, do you think the majority of Republicans think racist things about people? Like they want to bring down black people? And...
Excluding Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney.
Okay, dude. Come on, man. You gotta have have you met many Republicans in your personal life, or all the Republicans you know, like online Twitter Republicans? Like Nick Fuentes is your go-to, like what you think a Republican is, right?
Kansas, right? And I take a drive from Kansas City to Topeka, all right, which is the capital of my state. And in between, all you see is these Republicans, man. And they fucking and it's all an allegory.
How are they racist?
It's a dog whistle. Dog whistle.
What's the dog whistle?
Republican Party today is using republicanism as a dog whistle to maintain white people within this country. They don't want to become a minority.
Hold on. So I'm a Republican and I want mass immigration.
That's the thing. These parties aren't a monolith, man. Like all Democrats aren't like communists who want like to revolt, like eventually start with socialism, then get to communism, and then all live on a commune. That's not how all Democrats, not all Republicans are like racist, white nationalists.
Which is what I said, excluding Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney. I'm talking about the Trumpians. Trumpians.
So, the Trumpians are like half of the Republican Party. The other half is like the Mitch McConnells, the rhinos, like me.
And I don't even think all the Trumpians are racist. I'm sorry. I think the word racism, like, what do you mean by, like, what do you think they, like, do you think they actually, like, want to actively bring down, like, other minorities and stuff? Is that what you mean by racist? You mean, like, the definition of that?
You know what they want. They want the good old days, man. You know,
like, where black people were in chains and stuff like that. You think that's genuinely what these people want?
To that extent, but I do think that they want a world where they're still in control completely. You know, because at a certain point in American, history, not too long ago, they were in complete control, man. White people dominated everything, politics, sports, media.
Yes, I agree with you. There's a subsect of the Republican Party that agrees with this, but I don't think this is the majority. But go ahead.
Do you hear this? This ain't the country I grew up in.
Can I ask you a question, Chief Killer?
What's up?
Well, actually, I'm going to start off a statement. I believe that looking back at history or the origin of something, it's definitely a good symbol of what we want America to be, like how we want to shape the reputation and pretty much deliverance of America. But don't you think if you look back at like the flaws or cons of America and you pretty much use that in every argument, you're kind of manipulating like what America stands for or what the country stands for? Because the more you do that, the more you evolve in conversations or debates, you're actually coming off racist because you're generalizing that the opposers or whatever side that, like for instance, okay, yes, slavery existed, and we look back at it, we don't want America to ever become like that. We don't want to regress back to that. But would you say that if you kind of generalize that all white people are in it for dominating the non-whites, that it's racist, and you're kind of generalizing that to an extent?
I'm just speaking the truth, man. I'm speaking what I see.
But
and
how is that truthful?
And on top of that, I said the Trumpians. I wasn't talking about, the
Trumpies.
people.
How are the Trumpies racist? They believe they share the same ideologies and the same ideas and moral obligations as Trump. It's just what they believe in. We're entitled to that.
What does Trump believe in?
He believes he's a Republican.
No, he doesn't. He says it himself. Those rapist Mexicans. Let's get back to
do you have a source?
Okay, well, hold on. Chief, how do you explain that now 50% of Hispanics vote Republican, and black people are also leaning more Republican more than ever? Why are...
Hey, let me tell you something. I met a single black person who voted Republican. I'll tell you that right there.
Okay, well, I'm telling you the polls right now. That this is what's happening. Like, the Republicans are becoming the working class party. The Democrats are becoming the elite, liberal, white, educated party.
I mean, I gotta disagree with you, man, because you know what, the Republicans
ain't statistics. How do you disagree with that?
Republicans ain't never did shit. The statistics, damn the statistics, man. Because I tell you what, how did they
There's
get
no fucking way.
Always a focus.
I love when people say that.
How many people did they poll? You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no black people out here voting Republican, and I'm not saying they shouldn't vote.
He just read the statistics.
The black turnout rate for Republicans is growing and growing.
I mean, that's on them.
If you trust statistics, I guess.
I find it weird. I don't know. I think it's weird.
Well, the reason that I think I've heard stated by Republicans, to be fair, is like Democrats don't really offer a solution. They kind of just say, yeah, you're a victim. You need to be, black people are always down. And a lot of black people don't feel that way. A lot of black people don't feel like a victim. You don't sound like you feel like a victim.
Well, here are some issues that black people disagree with the Democrat Party. Defunding the police. Black people do not give a fuck about that. They want more funding for the police. They want safer communities. Okay, that's one thing. Number two, guns. Actually, a lot of black people are pro-guns because they know that that's how you protect yourself. It's the white liberals who are trying to de-arm us. So those are two big issues that I'd say are driving blacks towards the Republican Party. But there's many more.
I mean, are you black?
I'm not black.
Is there any other black person in here besides me?
I mean, we all have. We're all black. We have some form of descent.
African.
I got one blood. Yeah, 1 drop of blood.
1% black.
1 drop
for the
Republicans.
Right? 1 drop of one saliva.
No, I think you're probably the blackest of us all in here.
I'm talking. And another thing too that I don't agree with the Republicans on. I think this is the most pressing issue is anti-democracy, man. I mean, we all saw what happened on January 6th.
Anti-democracy. And also, what happened there was, it hasn't even been proven that Trump was the one who commanded that riot. It was just an outlash for the Trumpies and generalizing that the Republican Party is bad, therefore, of a stupid action. No, it's one individual Republican.
Oh, no, that narrative's been blown out the water. Trump.
Yeah, and that was bad. But you realize the percentage of people that stormed the Capitol versus the percent of people who vote Republican is a big difference. Like, you realize only a couple hundred people, if that, stormed the Capitol. There's millions of voters who vote Republican every single election cycle.
Well, no damn 100 people. It was more than that.
How many people do you think stormed the Capitol? I'm curious. We can look it up after this.
A couple thousand, at least.
Couple thousand? Let's see. I'm curious. I want to.
I think like 1,700 something. I think I can look it up though.
Okay, well,
2,000 at least.
Let me just concede. Yeah, that was not good. Most Republicans don't like that, and we don't support that. Mike Pence didn't support it. William Barr didn't support it. Most Republicans didn't support it. So I think that's a bit of a straw man to protect.
But he did. He did. Trump did.
Sure. So that's like Democrats. They love the Black Lives Matter
protest too, right? At the end of the day,
right?
Democratic or Republican, you can't generalize it.
What I'm saying is Trump personally supported that. If you watch the January 6th hearings, he was literally trying to get armed protesters into the Capitol that day.
Yes, he did support it. I'm not going to lie about that, but it doesn't mean that there's still people who voted Trump did not attend the riot or storming the Capitol.
The way he moves is the way the party moves.
You realize that it could have
Trump did not command them to go there directly. That is not what happened. Obviously, some of the language Trump used, I can condemn personally. But Trump, part of the problem with Trump is he's so slippery that he is able to say things in a very legalistic way where he's not going to get found guilty on any of these things because he didn't directly say anything. Obviously, I think he fucked around and probably encouraged some people, but
Chief,
I don't think he planned it.
Yeah, Chief, you said the party moves the way Trump moves. Well, that's not true. Mike Pence didn't go with it. William Barr didn't go with it. And Mitch McConnell didn't go with it. These are the top people in the Republican Party. They all went against Trump that day.
It matter. He got so much power. He's going around the country replacing those people right now. You know how many lawyers he's installed since 2020? I mean, he's gone from state to state to state. I endorse this person. I endorse this person. You know, and he's smart too.
Wait.
Hold on, let me finish my point. He's smart too. He knows who he's putting in. He's putting in Secretary of State here, you know, Senator here, Secretary of State there, support governor here. I mean, he campaigned just as hard for the Virginia governorship as he did for his own presidency, man. He knows what the fuck y'all think Trump is dumb. I don't discount Trump.
I
think Trump is smart.
And Trump knows what he's doing. He's anti-democracy and he wants to be a dictator.
Okay, but the thing is, you talk about the Virginia governorship. Trump had nothing to do with that victory. Glenn Youngkin won because of the issues. Trump only endorsed him after he saw that he was winning.
Endorsements help to. Do you think he shouldn't be able to endorse candidates? What are you saying?
I'm saying he knows what he's doing. He has a game plan.
Chief. I have a question for you.
He has
all as many loyalists as possible in positions of power that he needs, because he learned when he got into that spat with Ben Roethlisberger, whatever his name is, the Secretary of State of Georgia. He said to himself, "Okay, let me double back and figure out how I can fix this for 24." And that's
Chief,
his
I have
plan.
a question for you.
Well, country, he's going to state to state to state, putting in his people, so that way when it gets to 24, you know, he can do whatever he wants. And I truly believe that if Trump wins again, we're either going to be in a civil war or we're not going to have a democracy anymore. And that's where we're at.
Can I ask you a question now?
Sure.
Do you believe in political regulation and restrictions? Because that's rhetorical, you don't have to answer, regardless. So pretty much we can blame Joe Biden for the war, even though it's out of his hands, because Ukraine is not in NATO. But end of the day is Joe Biden has caused so many, has caused America a great deal in a negative way. I can generalize that the Democratic Party or the general Democratic Party is horrible. It's going to be inflicting on America. It's going to affect America in a negative way.
President Biden, first of all, when you talk about him, show him some respect. His name is President Biden.
What the fuck?
You're so fucking retarded. Holy shit.
President Biden came into a mess left by Trump. Okay?
No.
President Trump.
No.
President Trump.
No.
President Trump.
President Trump. There we go.
I don't acknowledge him as my president. He's a fucking thug.
Okay, bro.
He's not my president. He's not my president. But
not my president.
He's not my president.
You have a choice of who's your president just if you could declare it to the universe. He's not my president. Like, what the fuck, man?
That was y'all's president. But listen.
Y'all's president.
Racist as fuck, bro.
I love this fucking VC.
Listen, President Biden came into a mess. First of all, he had COVID. You know, at that time, it was killing like 600,000 or something like that. You know, now we're at 1 million. But it was a mess. He had an economic mess to take care of because of Trump's recession. That was Trump's economy that he shut down. That's Trump's recession. Okay.
Oh my god.
He didn't take.
We can't blame presidents for the economy. That's not really rational.
Chief. When Biden took office, we were already distributing 1 million vaccines a day. Biden just inherited the world. It was so easy for him. He didn't have to do anything. The economy, the COVID response, it was all already set in motion by Trump.
How could President Biden not do anything when he got into office when he had all these pressing issues?
Okay, I'm saying they were already being fixed. We were already distributing 1 million vaccines a day.
They weren't being fixed.
Operation Warp Speed is what Trump did. You realize that?
Yeah. He inherited the vaccines.
I mean,
policy.
We ain't even just got to talk about COVID. First of all, our infrastructure was collapsing too. President Biden tried to put in his Build Back Better policy, and what happened? The Republicans laugh all you want. The Republicans are always going on about infrastructure. But when the bill was there and they could have helped pass it, what do? They put politics in front of what actually matters. Basically, Trump never left office because Trump was interfering in all of President Biden's policies from day fucking one. And the only reason President Biden might not be as good of a president as I know he is, because I know my President Biden. Okay,
bro,
This is so funny.
Get off of his dick.
you're not real. You're not real. You have to be joking.
But since he inherited such a mess and Trump left behind such a terrible legacy, you know, he had to dig his way out of that from day one. His first 100 days, though, he made some great accomplishments. First of all, we already see. I mean, we got the first black woman Supreme Court justice inaugurated into the Supreme Court.
That's not an accomplishment.
That is an accomplishment.
No, it's not.
Why would it be an accomplishment to have a specific race of somebody selected just because of their race?
Chief. You're
Are you kidding?
Because you're quiet. I kind of, Biden has dementia, and you commented on how that's like things like that are crazy. So is he crazy?
That's a non-point too. But yeah, it is true. Biden is crazy by your definition. He probably takes plenty of medication. Biden should not have a gun.
I'm just commenting on his hypocritical comments. That's totally all I'm doing.
No, I agree with that.
Listen, President Biden is in the same situation that President Obama was in when he came to office. All right, he had zero. He had zero Republican support. He was going through the thing with the Tea Party. He couldn't get any of his policies passed, and this is the problem. This is first of all why we need to get rid of the filibuster.
Oh my God!
Get rid of the filibuster.
No,
do you realize that's going to come back and bite you in the ass, dude?
Yeah. Like that's why we got 3 Supreme Court justices, is because you guys removed the filibuster.
You sound like a CNN talking head, man.
I don't. This is just how it is.
And I hate to just insult you, but like, it's just.
Okay, Chief, I gotta say something. So like, you guys removed the filibuster, so that means that Trump got to put 3 extremists. He got to put 3 extremist judges because we didn't need to get 60 votes in the Senate. As a Republican, I guess that's cool for me, but I don't think that's a good precedent. So now we're just gonna put extremist judges all the time. Not a good thing. Now
it's got nothing to do with extremism. I mean, first of all, another thing I really support too, that I think the president was talking about earlier. I'm not sure, but we need to expand the Supreme Court from.
Pack the Senate too, probably.
Why?
Pack the Senate, expand the.
Because it's first of all, I mean, we just.
Okay.
The Supreme Court justices that Trump installed during the election. First of all, you can't do that. First of all, because the election was already happening. The election was already happening. He was supposed to wait until the results of the election to come out.
No.
And
that's not true.
Court justice. That's just how it should be, in my opinion.
Should be, yes. Maybe we could agree on that, but that's not how it is. Obviously, I could agree. Maybe like they fucked Obama's nominee pretty hard. I think. What was his name? I can't even remember now.
Merrick Garland.
Merrick Garland.
No,
I think the Republicans kind of fucked him a little bit.
No,
I think they did a little bit. It's different, but it's still a little fucked, I think.
Okay, it's completely different because Obama was a Democrat and the Senate at the time was Republican.
Of course.
Yeah,
and that's Trump, the difference. I just think it was a little foul play, though, obviously. And that's why I think it was completely legal. And you could make arguments that it should be more codified, but that's not something that was super put in the Constitution either.
So yeah, anyway, this is why we need the filibuster, because if we had the filibuster, we wouldn't have these 3 quote-unquote extremist judges that Trump could just nominated. We would have
but also too.
Yeah, we would have bipartisan judges, which is a good thing.
What I was saying, also too, if we don't get rid of the filibuster, nothing's gonna happen. I mean, at the end of the day,
that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
here's what I think. Another thing I really heavily support is statehood for my brothers in D.C. and statehood for my brothers in Puerto Rico.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on, Chief. Remember earlier you were saying you support like stronger states and a weaker federal government? That's the point of the filibuster. It's so that it's really hard to do anything on the federal level.
Yeah. That's a feature. Like that's not a flaw of the system. It's supposed to be super hard to get shit done. You're supposed to have
wide consensus.
Difficulty doing that.
Yeah. Like bipartisan and wide consensus.
I mean,
like you said earlier, we need to rewrite the Constitution. Is something you were saying earlier. We need to completely rewrite it, and that can be done.
I'm not talking about redo. I'm not saying rewrite. I'm saying toss out the current Constitution and create a whole new one. We need to have another constitutional convention, get together. Listen, we need to talk about
just change America, call it Schmishmerica.
No, I think we need to really get together and start talking about what's going to work for us now in the 21st century, man. You know? We're going off this old ass document from the 1700s, and then on 2022, you know.
That's the thing. If that document doesn't work, we should be able to amend the document to fit the current standards. But obviously, we don't have a good enough consensus or an agreement. So how do you think the planning stage of the new document would go? We wouldn't have consensus or agreement during that either.
True.
So we basically need a supermajority to put anything in the new document, so it'd be like the same issue, basically.
I mean, it would be all hands on deck.
Yeah, I don't really see the solution. Why don't we just fix what we got and actually propose solutions that people can agree on? Because like I think most people, I know you think Republicans are just evil, like blood-sucking vampires, but I think most people want like good people, like good things to happen to good people. Like they just want to help people. We have different ways of getting to these solutions generally, but I think most people.
Ask you again. Name one Republican policy that actually helps people.
We've already stated one, the immigration system thing.
And just because you don't think it helps people, like, doesn't mean it doesn't help people. That's the thing. Their perception of it is really what's important there.
My side we got universal healthcare, we got universal pre-K, we got universal, college, we got all these things.
Sure.
You know, we want to push
They
through.
think they're helping more people out by not doing those things. That'd be their argument. You ever heard people like, I think it's better for people to take personal responsibility. I think people get more fulfillment out of that. I think people get more than getting handouts and just getting randomly put into college based on no merit, these type of things. These are the things Republicans say. These are where you're going to get fulfillment. These are the Republican messages, whether you agree with them or not. They're putting out these things because they think they'll make life better. What you think, you're putting out like free college, these type of things, because you think these will make life better for people. Both of you guys want to make life better for people. You just have different ways about doing it. And you can't, that's the thing. You think, when you think the other side's evil, obviously, why would you even talk to us Republicans or people who you view as Republican? Because they're just evil, terrible people who are beyond approach and like have no good opinions on anything. Like, it just seems pointless to cast them aside like that.
That's not how I think about Republicans. I think Republicans are just misled into believing in this, like you just said it yourself. Oh, Republicans believe in self-reliance, self-this.
Do you know what Republicans believe in? Do you know what Republicanism means?
Republicans in power don't believe in any of that shit. Republicans in power,
I think if you want to argue about it, you should know what it means. Do you know what it means?
Because the Republicans are the real corporatists.
Okay, you're not answering me.
What's your question?
What do you think Republicanism is? Like, what are Republicans' beliefs?
Corporations. Big. And
are you serious or now, or am I?
I'm being so dead ass.
I think these labels are kind of fucked anyway. I mean, I don't think I could define Republican either in this day and age. Obviously, I could look up a dictionary, different age, and kind of get it, but I don't think it would very well describe what a Republican is in this day and age. I don't think definitions.
You can't describe a Republican. I mean, like I said, you can believe in the or just I don't know what you say, the doctrine, I guess. But
if you vote Republican,
it depends on personality as well. Depends on who they are as a person. It's not just Republicanism, Democratism, or just whatever it is. It's way more than that.
And that's the thing. If you think Republican politicians are corporate, and I think I'd extend that probably to all politicians are kind of corporate. I'd agree with that.
No, more so than politicians.
Maybe more so. But guess what? You think so? Do you think all Republican voters are the same too? All they care about is corporate.
I think Republican voters. I think they vote for a storyline. I think they vote for a theater. And they really want to they get them all riled up with the red, white, and blue. The Republicans are really good at theater. The self-reliance, the conservatism, the tradition, we're going to make America great again. Democrats are the only party coming to, bringing people to their senses and saying climate change is a real issue. People shouldn't be dying because they don't have health care. We got to start worrying about, getting people through higher education. We got to start giving people, school.
Yeah. Nobody's dying.
Free education benefit? Like, how is it beneficiary?
Because Democrats talk about the issues. Republicans work in this alternate reality where
it's more productive to provide free education, but how is it useful?
How is free education useful?
Well, not like in literal sense, but how is it beneficial?
How is it is that a real question?
For society, how is it beneficial? How?
So you don't think more educated people will be a good thing?
No, what I said, how is it beneficial in your words?
Because more people would have an education.
I don't think you understand the question. Yes, that's what free education is, but how would it be beneficial? How? Okay, so someone gets free education, they're more educated. What then? What if they're a bad person? What if they're crazy?
What?
What if they are crazy?
A more educated person can have a more positive effect typically on.
I know,
the surrounding
but I'm using
society.
his standards. I'm using what he said. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's quite obvious now.
This is a free point right here. I mean, this is a foul ball. I mean, this is a swish, man. What are you talking about?
I'm using what you said against you. You don't know what you're talking about.
Educations would be a good thing because we have.
I know it'd be a good thing.
Can
I'm
I finish?
asking you. Yes, sorry.
Because we have a specialized economy, okay? This ain't the days of the old West when people got to go out and build houses and out of logs. We need office workers. We need tech people. We need the guys who are going to build these things that can propel us into the future. We don't necessarily need more fast food workers, more unskilled labor. What we need in this country right now is more skilled labor, and education would be the key to that. Unfortunately, education is so damn expensive that we can't get any of that. So what do you mean, how would it be more beneficial? And this is what I'm talking about, man.
Why do you think it's expensive?
You're saying you don't think college is expensive?
I say, why do you think it got so expensive?
I believe it got expensive because you get greed at play, man. You get corporations at play. You also have a culture of elitism within the college sector, the university sector, and I truly believe that they're artificially pricing the cost of education in order to make sure that only certain people get in. And this is something that I fundamentally disagree with because I believe everybody has a right to a higher education. Everybody should have a right to decide at a young age, this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to go to school for. But also, I think it should also be less expensive to go to college, but I also think it should be less expensive to not go to college. I think you got those people out there that don't want to go to college, that want to work a simple job, and they should be paid well, and they should be able to sustain a house, sustain the cost of living, and all that stuff. This is just common sense, man. Okay. I don't know how you live in a country where you have so many poor people and say to yourself, this is what I want to conserve. How can anybody be a conservative in a time like this? The country's poor.
I mean, the reason college is so expensive is because the government has
subsidized.
It's thrown so much money at the college system that obviously they're going to raise prices because why wouldn't you take advantage of free money? Grants, subsidized loans. Now they're even talking about forgiving student loan. Like, just look at how much money we're throwing at this thing. Obviously, if you're a college and the government's throwing money at your school, you're going to take it. Supply and demand, right?
Yeah, forgiving student loans.
How does getting more money make you want to raise the prices? It makes no sense.
Supply and demand. So you're increasing the demand for schooling, right? So when you increase the demand, that increases the price.
No, you're increasing the amount of money they have. You just said it. The federal government throws money at them.
Yeah, they do. So exactly. So when you're giving out loans, subsidized loans to students, that means more people are trying to get into these colleges. That means more demand equals higher price.
I mean, that's fine. I can agree with that. I ain't really saying that everybody is going to go to an Ivy League school. I'm not saying make the Ivy League school free. Those are elite schools for serious people. I mean, but a damn little 2-year, 4-year community college shouldn't be fucking.
No, I'd agree with that.
House, you know what I'm saying? It should be free.
No, it should definitely not be free.
Honestly, it should be compulsory. In my opinion, it should be compulsory.
No, that's a
lot of states you can already get community college for free in a lot of states, but
you can.
Okay,
but
depending on your background and stuff.
You think that, like, let's say a low-skilled worker should be subsidizing the education of a doctor? Like, the doctor's expected value from becoming a doctor, he's going to make so much money in his life. He can pay off his loan. We don't need poor people to pay off their loans.
I mean, if the low-skilled worker was making enough money to sustain himself and his family and his household, of course he should pay a little more in taxes.
No, but you're saying his taxes should go to subsidizing a future doctor. Like, the doctor doesn't need help. He's going to make so much money by being a doctor.
I would rather my taxes that I pay out of my check every single time I get paid to be utilized for education as opposed to this overblown military budget. I would rather that, yeah.
Oh, no.
You're goddamn.
No, we need to.
I'd rather instead of paying for the military out of my checks, I'm paying for universal health care. Hell yeah, I'll do that in a heartbeat.
Okay, but hold on.
Everybody wants a weaker military.
They already a lot of money in taxes out of our checks anyway. So what does it matter if they take a little more?
The point that I'm saying is that what you're proposing is regressive. We're giving money to the future rich by subsidizing people who are going to become doctors or lawyers or whatever. They don't need free education.
once again, I'm not talking about universities. I'm talking about community college. Community college should be free. In fact, it should be compulsory. After you get out of high school, you should be
compulsory.
Why?
What the fuck?
Everybody needs a higher education, man. High school.
You were just saying how people could be McDonald's like employees, and you don't need a higher education to be a McDonald's employee.
You can go to trade school. Like a lot of people are going to trade school. It's just
trade school. Something after high school should be compulsory.
no.
Whether
Why?
community college or military, whatever.
How many years? 4 or 2?
I mean, 2 years. Get a little associate's degree. You know.
That seems dumb.
And if it ain't for you, it ain't for you. I want to give people the choice. I just want shit to be fair.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you don't.
You
Like, if I
literally
wanna
took
start-
away their choice.
If I want to start working when I'm 18, you're going to force me to go to college now?
Let me.
What if I gotta support my family?
Let me run this. Let me run this back, okay?
Right.
Let me just say this: community college should be free. It should be free and accessible.
Of course.
Everybody who wants to go to community college should be able to go to community college.
I think I agree.
All right. Maybe compulsory was too much of a. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm saying.
I'm okay with that.
That's how strongly I feel about it. I feel like higher education is so
It's important.
these days. These days.
I agree. It is important. I don't know if I make it compulsory. I'm not that authoritarian, but like even like I think high school past 16 isn't even compulsory.
No, it's not. But also, too, another thing too is this. Like I said, the key factor, the little secret sauce in this, is that you got to make it affordable to not go to college too. You got to pay the McDonald's worker at least $29.
That's tough.
Okay.
You got
29.
I want to make an argument. I want to make an argument against free community college. So when you remove cost from the equation, like, and you're a student, you don't know what you want to do. If it's free for you, you can just go to like the gender studies because you don't care. You're not assuming the cost of this program, so you don't have to do a cost benefit analysis. Like, oh, if I study gender studies, am I going to get a job out of this? Am I going to be able to repay my loan?
Hold on, my baby. Hold that thought. I gotta take a piss. Hold up.
All right.
I mean, yeah, you do kind of though. You still got to survive after you get out of college. It's not like most people don't just live for free.
I think education should be free, but not for the reasons he's saying. He has.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think his worldview seems a little skewed to me.
It's so fucking divergent.
It seems a little surface level.
Scary.
I hate to insult, but
no, I'll do the insulting for you. Don't worry.
It just doesn't seem productive when in a conversation.
Yeah,
and it only leads to him arguing back, and then it just gets bad.
Yeah, pretty much. He has like this self-accustomed intention for what people should do after college. Like they have their own lives, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
All right, what was your question to me?
He walked that back though. Yeah, but go ahead. Repeat the question, Supreme.
Oh fuck! I completely forgot what I was saying.
You were saying about college. Cost benefit analysis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Why wouldn't someone go do something stupid in college? I mean, at the end of the day, man, that's their choice, dog. I mean, you can. I mean, there's some people out there that are just fuck ups for life. No matter how easy you make.
Okay, what I'm saying is, like, right now, if you're paying for your own tuition, you have to seriously think, okay, what does the market want? What kind of career should I go into? How can I actually make money? If college is free, you don't have to make that decision. You can just study whatever the fuck you want. You're not assuming the cost of your choice. You can go to gender studies. You don't care if there's you're not really considering, am I going to get a job out of this? Because you're not really.
Only a stupid person would do that, though.
No, I don't think so.
Only a stupid person would do that.
I agree with that. I think only a stupid person would do that.
Yeah,
most people don't make decisions based on they just want to have fun and then don't think about what they're going to do after college. Like these people got to survive and live. Like I said.
I mean, if they just wanted to have fun and fuck off, I mean, they just wouldn't go to college.
Well, then it's going to hit them real quick too. They're going to go to college, get a degree in underwater basket weaving, and then boom, they're going to realize this shit ain't useful, and I'm going to have to get a job at McDonald's, not making $29 an hour, sadly.
That's fine, but I'll tell you what, the solution for that is it's unlimited. You can go back to college as many times as you want.
Yeah,
I might agree with that to an extent, but yeah, I mean. There might have to be a probationary period with requirements pretty heavily if school like that, if we're allowing multiple tries. I don't think you can miss multiple days of school then, or else you get kicked out. I think it needs to be very strict and a strict thing if we're going to make it free and you can just try it as many times as you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fuck up as many times. I do think there needs to be then it needs to be very strict. It can't be like community colleges now, where like you can kind of fuck off a little bit and they don't really care because you paid the $250 or whatever per season, like it is in my state. Obviously, it might like it varies, obviously, but like it's not as big a deal. But I think like if you fuck off with free shit, like you're gonna easily get kicked out and shit. Like you got to take it seriously. I think if you're taking taxpayer dollars, to me. And maybe we shouldn't even allow like gender studies. I think it should just be a general degree, like math, science, those extended courses that we can allow, and then maybe from there you can get like, if you pass that, you can extend to some other community college course. That way, people are less likely to like waste, expensive like do underwater basket weaving when they realize they don't even fucking like school and shit.
Well, also too, I was gonna say I really like trade schools too.
Yeah,
I think really need to do something with trade schools. I would say we need to do more with trade schools than we do with community college. I think trade schools are the way. Absolutely. So we need so many carpenters. We need so many we need so many welders, man. We need all these people.
Okay, we agree on one. Yeah, that's great.
No, I think we should have it like and I think that should be extended to it. I think you should be able to use your stipend for a community college or whatever that would be, in order to maybe put it towards a trade school or something like that. Trade schools tend to be a lot more expensive than community college, though.
Well, trade schools are really cheap relative to college, and it's much shorter terms, like 2 or 3 years. You got a job.
I guess it depends on what trade you're looking at. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, in general, it's much cheaper and it's much faster. Like, it's a great thing.
The community college, I don't think so. Then a university, I'd 100% agree. Then community college, where I live, like community college is like $250 per like semester. Where I live, I've looked recently, and then like trade school for welding, like that's a couple, that's like $500+ for the whatever same semester or whatever.
Well,
so
actually,
it's a little bit more expensive.
Surprisingly, the Department of Labor already subsidizes trade schools all across the country for completely
That's the thing. Obviously, all these subsidies happen. That's what I said. A lot of people get in community college for free too. Like most people who want to go to school in some way and have some level of competency with school are able to get into some school in some way. Like if they really push for it. There's not many people who are sitting there like at home in McDonald's like, if only I could have went to school. Like maybe when they're super old and they feel like their time has passed them. But there's not many 20-year-olds who like couldn't go to school, so that's why they have to work at McDonald's. Like that, they might have not been able to go to school for what they wanted to or something. But a lot of these schools are open and like ready to take people for very cheap.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Ivy League or anything glorious, but
maybe a different topic. You said you want to defund the military.
That one.
I mean, I would cut back. I would cut the federal government back.
Holy shit! Are you okay? Sound like you choked on your drink.
But yeah, I'm good.
Sounds like you ripped a bong.
I'm good. I'm good.
You're good. Okay.
You gotta be careful, brother. But no, I mean, I would cut the federal government's budget back a lot, honestly.
Okay. I'm just so curious why people think that. Yeah, I'm just so curious why people think this. Like we see China is rising; it's building up its navy. We have rogue states like Iran, Russia invading Ukraine, and you think this is the time where we should become weaker?
Oh yeah, no, because I don't think America should be a superpower anymore.
What the fuck? Okay, why?
We fucked that up.
Who do you want to be the superpower instead?
Yeah, do you prefer China?
Honestly,
you realize someone's got to be the superpower. You're just like America. Do you live in America?
No, I live here in America. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Kansas.
You realize there's a lot of benefit from America being the superpower that you yourself on a day-to-day basis are enjoying.
I mean that's fine, but like we, after our travels in Iraq and Afghanistan, and
we have to be punished.
I mean, I just don't think we're responsible. I don't think we're responsible enough, honestly.
Yeah, can't you learn and get more responsible? Obviously, we can.
Honestly, I'm a big fan of China. I think they got it going on.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh, dude!
No, there's no way. There's just no way you're serious. Like, or maybe
I'm gonna go check out another chat.
Maybe you just don't know.
It was a good call.
What? Why do you leave? Yeah, okay. I think maybe you just don't know what's going on in China. And I'm saying that sounds condescending, but.
Yo, Chief Killer.
What's up?
Are you sure if you're from Kansas?
Yeah, I'm from Kansas.
I'm looking at your Steam profile. It says New York.
What's up with New York?
It just says you're from New York on your Steam profile.
Yeah. So what?
Kansas, New York, different things.
Okay.
Okay, so Chief, you like the social credit score system?
Jesus Christ, meaning you're lying about everything, probably.
I mean, I just like, I don't know, man. I just feel like China has a much more advanced society, honestly.
Okay, so
they're making progress that we're not making.
Really? Okay, so like for example, homosexuals, they're banned from TV. You think that's progress?
I think I'm more talking about their finance situation.
No, well, they're way behind. Oh, everybody left.
Yeah, I know.
That's sad. Well, that was a fun conversation. I mean, we can keep talking, but
yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Spare to the debate. The rule 101 is the first person that attacks in ad homs is the loser by default. They lose because
It's
because
like,
you only go to ad homs. You only go to the attack and the personal qualities of that character or that person that you're talking to
it's like,
because you have no relevant. You have no relevant refusal.
Fine, that's fine.